Howdy ho ho everybody. Welcome one, welcome all to the Ramble Report here on the old unnecessary rambling YouTube channel, the frequently renamed and frequently updated and frequently changed and frequently. It was funny, man. I put out that video where I was just kind of shooting the shit with the community, talking about the changes that we're making and changes that have been hitting my mind and just all the different thoughts. It was actually a really nice video to put out there. Um, where something I was saying was like, I feel so bad about kind of the baiting and the switching. And it's like, here's this, and then now I'm gonna pull this back, and you can't have that no more. And it's like everybody was like, well, dude, if it's not fucking working, of course that's what you can't keep doing shit and not see results. It's like when you're a small channel, you gotta fucking make changes, make pivots, make adjustments, and so that was a nice just having a little bit of feedback from the people who you're putting the content out there for to be like, yo, you're good. You ain't gotta, if something ain't fucking clicking, then like that ain't nothing you can do about it but pivot. So it was nice to get some of that feedback of shit that's like, because it's like super embarrassing, where you're like, fuck, here we go again, having to change this and change that and try something new. And it's like, it feels embarrassing for sure. But yeah, it was just, that was a little bit of, I appreciated that feedback. So I guess that's what I'm saying. I appreciated that feedback from you guys. But Loon, how are you doing, my friend? How has the week been for you?
Um, yeah, kind of slow, I think, more than anything. Nothing much really went on. Um, Sinking my teeth into Mandragora, I think is what it's called. If you've heard of that, it's like
I
a
haven't.
2D Metroidvania. Um, Very similar to like Salt and Sanctuary mixed with, I guess, Bloodstained with some of the stuff that it's got going on there. Um, and then decided to boot up GTA 3 yesterday.
Really?
That game is. Oh, I have opinions on that game. Um, but to be very brief with it makes me laugh that there's a huge amount of people that don't feel comfortable in critiquing something in like the now, like looking at it and being like, it was very influential and very important that that game was made. It is not a good game though. Like when you're looking at it through the lens of like now, I'm disappointed that with the definitive edition, like not even bothering to give him a voice, like it feels a bit strange. Like the voice acting delivered from the characters in the game is really bad. The
Yeah.
stuff on the radio is really good, which is it makes for a really weird like difference. Like when you're listening to the radio and they're doing like the spoof shows and stuff like that, and it's really high quality. And then you go to your mission handler, and it's like really low quality. Like not even just like the mic quality's bad. And it was kind of like oh, and then the missions are just terrible. It's just
Yeah.
they're just bad.
It's definitely the GTA game that has aged the worst. Well, the one and two have aged the worst, but
Of
out
the
of
3D
the,
era. Yeah,
yeah, out
that
of that
yeah.
3D era for sure. And because I went back to it last year, and because I played through Vice City and San Andreas, and I went back
Hmm.
to GTA 3, and I was like, no chance I'm finishing this. Just yeah, it's really rough. Obviously, once again, probably one of the top three most influential games ever, but going back to it today is a rough faux show.
Yep. So yeah, other than that, that is it. Oh, hit 100 subscribers on my channel. Moving,
Nice, dude.
moving up in the world. Um,
Dude, you should fucking. I was actually thinking about that. Like, and this is once again feedback, unnecessary feedback. We'll change the name of the channel to that next. You definitely don't need to be taking feedback from me, of all people. Good Lord. But whenever you do those essays, you already have 100 fucking people over there. Just drop one of those, like take a week off from uploading or something, and then drop one of those essays into a pool of 100 people. See, like, because I mean, if you can get, say I don't know what the click through rates are and shit, but say they're typically in the 2 to 3 range, 2 to 3% click through rate. And then if you take a week off and then drop an essay style video and the click through rate's 13%, 10%, then that's going to push it out to a whole bunch of new eyeballs as well.
mm,
Opposed to, and obviously we'll promote the shit out of it here, which will put new eyeballs on it, make a post, community tab post, and all of that shit just to Yeah, because I was thinking like starting a new channel for you. Listen, you could get 100 subscribers again, but why, you know, go through all of that whenever you have 100 people already locked in?
Mm.
But it is 100 people who maybe are looking for a different style of content. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah, we'll just see. Obviously, still building up footage and still thinking. That's why I want this. I want to get like a bunch of genres up and ready. That's why I'm going for like GTA and stuff because I think it'd be cool to make comparison videos or stuff like that. So all just building up a big old vault of video footage to be able to pull from.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing where it's like, you know, and we talked about it last week where it's trying to get us both something established here to where we can um and where I'll primarily take back over the unnecessary rambling channel, and we'll do this as like our once a week fun kind of hangout, shoot the shit together about games, but nothing that's like, overly intensive for Loon's time commitment. That way he can focus a lot of his time on his own channel, get that, you know, to where he wants to get that. And then hope to God, one day we can get this damn channel to a point where it's doing pretty fucking well, making some solid money. And then, you know, if I can hire Loon from this channel, then that would be the dream. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, that would be fucking awesome, dude. Even just as like even just as something fucking part-time. You know what I mean? Like even that would be a dream come true. Even if we could both just make part-time money on it, like that would be fucking um a dream come true. But because I was thinking, I was like, you know, uh, just to be completely transparent, you start having these thoughts, and it's as you get older, you definitely start having these thoughts a lot more. I'm like, if I took the time I put into this channel and just did like a part-time call center job, like, work from home, fucking answering calls, I'd make 20 times the money that we're making here in terms of the hour per dollar count.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this, it's shit like that has kind of been hitting my brain a little bit, but it's like, well, why not just try to do something that you really fucking love, and give it a 110% effort, and try to see if anything can possibly turn out of that. It's been, it's been 5 years and nothing has quite turned yet, but hey, we'll keep on pushing through this thing. It's just, it's fun to do. You don't want to give up on shit you love, but at the same time, chasing dreams can also lead to nightmares. So I'm aware of that, but it's fun ass, a fun ass nightmare to interact with every now and then.
Yeah, it's an evil within two instead of evil within one.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I guess that's actually the best descriptor, is like finding a way. We're in the evil within one stage right now. How to get to the evil within two. That's a tolerable nightmare. Um, but I don't know. At the end of the day, you hear that thing of like, only 20% of our subscribers are watching our channel. Make sure to drop the, you see that a lot on YouTube where it's like, if all of y'all subscribed right now, only 20% of you are subscribed. Go and subscribe. It's like those are the channels that are actually cooking. Like that sounds good as a marketing pitch where it's like it's a good way to remind people to subscribe. But like if you look at our analytics, it's like 90% of the people who watch it are already subscribed. And that is like the death nail, where it's not getting out to anybody other than your subscribers. And it's like, oh shit, well, how do we push that out there to new eyeballs? So just gonna keep on experimenting. Like I don't really want to lock in, I got the news show, and gonna try to stay somewhat committed to that. But once again, it's I know this it's annoying as fuck, but like I'll look at the analytics on that, the views on that, all that shit, and it's kind of like you only have so much energy.
Hmm.
And it's like I'm kind of thinking of it as energy allocation. Where is the best place to allocate that energy? You know what I mean? Like, because I recorded my first collect beat repeat video, which is a new series that's going to go up every Sunday. Oh, I should no. Let me fucking take that back before I lock that in. No. I'm gonna try for every Sunday. I'm gonna try for every Sunday. Um, but yeah, I was thinking like a just like have one little pocket of the channel that's all collection oriented content. And that'll be called Collect Beat Repeat. And so I went through the shelves and just like picked off some different games and it's fun. But so it's like, okay, well, yeah, anywho, I don't, I'm just rambling at this point. It's just kind of that energy allocation, like looking at all the metrics, seeing what performs, and then, kind of pivoting when need be. But definitely still want to, hit the news as regularly as possible. Um, yeah, so just not that y'all need another update. I've already fucking updated y'all and rambled well long enough about all of that shit. But that's kind of that, man. Um, I Loon, I honestly don't even know. I don't know where I began. I don't know if I had a point to make. I don't know. I have no idea what the fuck I'm even talking about.
This is pretty the idea of the channel. We don't know where the hell we're going. We're
Yeah,
just going.
yeah,
So
absolutely, absolutely. Um, but yeah, dude, got a nice little week of news to discuss here today on the old Ramble Report. And let's see. Did you have anything you wanted to plug or anything, any opening thoughts before we really get on with the show proper? Are you ready to get into the questions and the answering?
yeah, we're getting to the Q&As.
All right.
Let's get it.
Well, shout out to Sadik and Captain Corndog for supporting that channel or supporting the channel at the shout out tier for the YouTube memberships and the Patreon support. Thank y'all so very much for keeping the lights on at the old Game and Ramble. Not Game and Ramble. Gotta, gotta remember that. Unnecessary rambling. Who the fuck cares? It's a name. It's some name with rambling in it. All right, let's hop on into the Q and A. Sean Ward writes in on Patreon and says, many open world games rely on formulaic systems, including checklists, map markers, and recycled side content. Can open world fatigue be solved by evolving these core systems, or does the genre require a more fundamental reimagining beyond scale and visual fidelity? So, um, I just think it's about making an open world that people want to be in. I know that that's like such a simplified fucking answer, but I don't really, I don't think that map markers or like, I really don't think any of that stuff is going to be a huge detriment or like either which way. I don't think it's a positive or a negative inherently. It can obviously matter to the design of your world. Like some games have to have them, while other games probably should not have them. Where like nobody wants to play Grand Theft Auto 6 and not have a GPS system. That would make no sense to the context of the world of modern day Florida riding around in a car without a GPS system when every modern car has a GPS. Like it just wouldn't line up whatsoever. But then something like an Atomfall, where it's like, yeah, what the fuck's a GPS system? We barely have compasses. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, then that does make sense not to have the map markers and the kind of more formulaic design. But I just think you look at something like a Red Dead 2 or like there's so many examples out there of games that would technically have somewhat of an inherently formulaic design philosophy to the open world, but there's some of the best selling The Witcher 3, very formulaic in terms of checklisty style content and but it's one of the best selling games, one of the most beloved games. Same with Red Dead 2. Um, so yeah, I think that sometimes the innovative nature, like how people want to emphasize innovation over quality. Like I think quality should always come first. If you can innovate, if you can become a Breath of the Wild, great. If you can become I mean, I can't even think of like what are the real innovative open world games of the last 10 years, Breath of the Wild and like Death Stranding. Those are the only two I can really think of that are really innovative at all. I shouldn't
um,
say 10 years, but maybe like 8 years, whatever.
yeah, I was gonna say because it really the ball began to really turn because it depended on what you were going to focus on. Because that's the thing with an open world esque game, there has to be some level of sacrifice being made. You can't excel at every single thing. You know, even when you look at like Red Dead 2, it has its own shortcomings of certain things when you get down to it, very nitpicky. Um, but yeah, we obviously started off the what was it, PS4 and Xbox One generation with The Witcher 3, and people were very, very happy with what they did with side quests and stuff like that, where it felt like the side quests had a lot poured into them. And I remember it being one of the first titles where people were like, "Oh my god, I found the quest item before the quest even like had been put in my log." And then you go back there, and then they're like, "Oh, can you go out and look for this?" And you're like, "I already have it," and then it has dialogue to account for that. Um, and then you're talking about obviously with the GPS style thing of like kind of being formulaic in that regard. You can definitely be innovative in that space as well because you obviously need a way of telling the player where to go. But you think of like Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
that has a system, and that was it's like it's the thing like that can't be copied because then it loses its luster. Like not every game can have that. It fits so well with that game. Um, it's just yeah, it's a give and take. They're the most popular genre by far for single player players.
Yeah.
They always dominate charts and stuff like that. And I think the most important thing is just when you're building it up, just focusing on what the game does best. Because some games the story isn't it. Like an open
Yeah.
world game can have like for instance Just Cause 2, for instance, that doesn't have a story worth remembering about Rico Rodriguez and his escapades. But the gameplay is what blew people away and the destruction and stuff. So it's always just focusing on what you do best, and that kind of fits with like the developer, like what is their strong suit and stuff like that. Because when they do sometimes come out of their comfort zone, you do end up like you said with an Atomfall. That's not something really what Rebellion make. That's kind of new to them. You have Bloober kind of coming out of their shell and getting a little bit more hands on with gameplay with the Silent Hill 2 remake. But sometimes it can just blow up in your face if you're a little bit too ambitious. Even something like when you compare The Witcher 3 to Cyberpunk, CDPR probably had a bit of ambition there that they probably should have reined in a tiny bit, but it's admirable to try and shoot so high and then fall a little bit on your face.
Yeah. It is interesting though, just thinking about like I guess something like Dying Light. Yeah, I'm still Kingdom Come, Deliverance. Like I'm just trying to think games that actually innovate in this space. Like there really aren't a lot of them, you know? And I think that I guess that's okay too, where like you said, they sell so well. The ones that do sell well sell well, and the ones that don't obviously can be catastrophic to, you spend $200 million developing this big ass open world game and nobody gives a fuck about it. That is definitely that has happened before. But yeah, I don't know if finding the next big innovative thing is I think it's just make whatever world you're making, make the things in that world make sense, given the context of the setting, the environment, the world you're trying to build, and then just make it good. Like, I know that that's crazy, but like if you have a 70-hour open world game with 20 great hours, I don't know. Like and I understand people spend $70 and they want their 70 hours, but my whole thing is like, why not cut the 50 and just leave the 20 great hours? Or why not put 35 hours in there and have 15 hours of filler and then 20 fucking fantastic hours? Like, I guess that's a little bit once again just oversimplifying this because I know there's more metrics and shit that Ubisoft is looking at where they're like, well, our players didn't buy Mirage as much as they bought Valhalla. Even though Mirage by all accounts is probably a little bit better of a game than Valhalla. And it's like, so they obviously have some metrics to suggest that their players do like these 100-hour slogs, but from my personal standpoint, it's like I'd rather take 25 great hours than uh 70 hours where only 20, 15 of those hours are great hours.
Yeah, I'd love to see. Obviously, in an ideal world, like 100% of the statistics like being out there, like whenever they talk about anything game related, because it would be really interesting to see how many people are buying these games who only buy like a very, very small amount per year. And that's why them open world Ubisoft games do so incredibly well, even though they seem to get absolutely lambasted in reviews and people don't hold them highly at all, but they seem to be top sellers. Shadows is selling fine. There were
Oh
tons of
yeah.
people that were dooming and glooming and being like, oh, well, Ubisoft's going to shutter. And it's like, no, I don't think they are. Like every time a new Assassin's Creed game comes out, it shits out copies. Like they sell like hotcakes,
Yeah,
and
if
they
they're
have
gonna
long
shutter,
legs as well.
mm, if they're gonna shutter, it ain't got nothing to do with Assassin's Creed. It's
No,
got a
or Far
lot more to
Cry.
do.
It's
Yeah.
it's the other. Ironically, it's when they try to think outside the box with like a Skull and Bones and stuff like that. When they
Yeah.
try and get smart and intelligent, and it's just like, look, man, that's again, it's not your strong suit. Just stay in your lane. Like it's great that they turned For Honor into what they did, but man, that game struggled like hell. That on its second month, it had like 20 players for a Ubisoft game that they were pushing as like an esport thing and stuff like that. Like that's a joke.
Yeah,
So mm,
for sure. Yeah, it's great question though, man. Appreciate you writing in, Mr. Ward. And now we go to Mr. Parkhouse. Justin says, "What game do you think deserved a sequel but never got one for whatever reason?" Um, so this, I mean, immediately, of course, Alpha Protocol, Sleeping Dogs, top two that come to mind. Um, Sleeping Dogs just because of Square's fucking incompetence. And then with Alpha Protocol, like you kind of understand that one. Like that wasn't great at launch, and even still going back to it today, not great. I love it. One of my favorite games ever, but it's very, very rough around the edges across the board. Like, there's no denying that that combat sucks. There's no denying that it's still pretty buggy and at times can be a bit broken. And so like why they didn't get a sequel is kind of that they only really have their self to blame for that. I mean, I know they were under some time crunch and pressures and this, that, and the other, but
they kind of pissed. Was it Sega was the publisher
yeah,
of kind of as well, with blowing as much budget as they did on stuff that they did. When you go
yeah.
and look into like the design logs or however you want to talk about that, yeah, it's not surprising that I didn't get sequelized. I don't even know who owns the IP. Is it Sega or them? It
I
must be
think
Sega.
there's some weird shit where I think that Disney somehow got the license or something. I don't really know. Let's see
How do
who
they always end
owns.
up with everything? How does
I
Disney
swear to
always?
God.
How's it always fall in their laps?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick. But another one for me is Jade Empire.
Mm.
Jade Empire, I think a sequel to that would have crushed. They had so many unique ideas on the table that they never quite they never quite were able to fully flesh out. Which, don't get me wrong, they fleshed out a lot of that. Like, that game is really, really good, but it seemed like they were just barely hitting like 10% of what the potential could have been with a follow-up to that game. And of course, they pivoted into the right direction, like Mass Effect, Dragon Age. That didn't do too poorly for old BioWare at the time. So they made the right choice there, but I still would have loved to have seen a Jade Empire 2. And there's a bunch of concept art out there and design ideas and shit for what they were gonna do with the Jade Empire 2. I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah, for me it'd probably be obviously Lost Odyssey. I'd liked to see like that kind of have continued in the way that they were tackling JRPGs with the cool fit. We haven't obviously didn't see it really until Expedition 33, that them picking up the torch and really refining it. Because I think if that would have continued, that could have um, kept JRPGs alive a little bit longer. Because that was the big thing, is that a lot of people were sick of click, smack, wait. Like
Yeah.
there's no interaction. That's why people really fell in love with Expedition 33, because although it is turn based, it's very involved with the player. You're not just
Hmm.
sitting there and watching things unfold. You're participating in it, even though it's turn based. It's crazy. Um, Yeah, I don't know. There's been so many titles that because I'm just an IP slave, like with sequels, as you know. So yeah, like you said, like Sleeping Dogs, Alpha Protocol would have been nice. But then I'm thinking back, like there's sometimes when you're thinking of a sequel and it doesn't pan out the way that you hope. Because I'm sitting there like, oh, maybe a Pillar's free, but like seeing the writing quality of what they did with
Avowed, yeah.
Avowed, it's like I obviously need to look into that a little bit and see who was on the team if they shuffled it up majorly. But if you're continuing an IP, you'd think you'd put the Pillars people to write the story at least on it. And that, yeah, it was rough. So sometimes it's probably better that we don't get sequels to stuff that we love. Um, but yeah.
I think, like thinking back to the Xbox, Death Row on the original Xbox, but I think that would have been such a great 360 game. I think it just launched a little too early, where it came out OG Xbox 2000 and whatever 2003, 2004, and I think if that would have launched on the 360 with online play and being able to play this weird version of rugby basketball, like, and having MMA fights in the middle of the game, like, I think that could have had huge kind of viral meme ability attached to it.
Mm,
Um, but just came out a little too early. That's a whole different topic for a different day. Games that came out too early. There's a lot of those. Resident Evil Outbreak, another one that would have been huge in the 360 or PS4 era. Isn't that weird? I just said that without totally subconscious. And I think most people do that. 360 PS4 era. So like if you associate 7th gen, people call it the 360 era. 8th gen, people call it the PS4 era. That is so wild.
I mean, it had a lasting impact. That's the thing, isn't it? Is
Yeah.
when you think back to gens, because a lot of people, you say the PS2 gen. You don't say like whatever
Yeah.
was dominant usually is the one that you lead with, and for good reason. I don't think that's unmerited and stuff like that. If
No.
they did well enough, they it was their generation. They're the ones that made the biggest impact. Um, but yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
There are games that again, even back to Lost Odyssey. I saw when I was looking through because I was interested when I was playing through GTA 3 yesterday, being like, I wonder how good this. Like, obviously, it's a game that was really important. I wonder like what the reviews were for the time. Dude, the amount of hundreds that thing got. And then I'm looking back on it and like wondering like, okay, well, like what's like the recent reviews? Obviously, people aren't being as kind to it and stuff like that in some circles. I was like, what like, and it just got me down that rabbit hole. And like, you're talking like Lost Odyssey got like a 68, which is insane. And it's the thing of like that's what happens with like where you're talking about launching and stuff, and also launching on the correct platform. It just the 360 wasn't built for that. The 360 was built for like you said with what was the game that you said the MMA
Yeah,
like that kind of stuff.
Death
Just
Row, yeah.
just brute stupid co-op games like
Yeah.
Halo, Gears and stuff. That's where it excelled at and stuff like that. When it was more niche stuff, because Tales didn't do well on that generation. So yeah, kind of unfortunate.
Totally. Yeah, it's funny to think to like even talking about pillars and thinking about Pathfinder and it's like shit, I wonder if they launched in 2024 after Baldur's Gate 3, after the success of Baldur's Gate 3. Hey, don't worry about the timestamps, Loon. Are you timestamping?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. You're
Whew.
good. You're good. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're straight.
I can just
Yeah,
sit back and relax.
absolutely. Yeah, that was fucking um when we were detailing out our fucking long-term business plans. And it's like, okay, well, let's divvy up this and let's split this. Like, let's go and fucking just have some fun and enjoy the podcast. I'll get the timestamps up later on. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, but you think about like Pathfinder and even Pillars, and it's like, I wonder a world post Baldur's Gate 3. Do games like that come out and find a larger audience than they did when they launched?
I
Where
mean,
people now,
yeah, they do. It's already been
wow,
shown. Rogue Trader, like
right,
part Wrath of the Righteous. for all accounts, those people who are in them circles, it is a better game. But the fact that the Rogue Trader came out after I think Baldur's Gate 3, I believe, or round about that same time, they kind of it's around similar times. There's a reason that did much much better. Obviously, also the
Mm.
Warhammer IP is obviously a little bit more recognizable now than Pathfinder. Pathfinder's still niche, but yeah, you're gonna see whatever comes out next from Owlcat is probably gonna dwarf Rogue Trader, I imagine, and stuff like that. I can't think of any on the horizon though, other than Pathfinder that's got CRPGs coming out. I don't
Mm.
like Larian's really far away from whatever
10
the hell that they're
years.
doing. And then Obsidian doesn't seem to be doing anything with pillars. I don't think
I
so.
bet they do another CRPG though.
I
Like, I'm
hope
not
so.
saying,
What I
yeah,
would love to see from them is, and this is kind of linking back to a thing that we talked about the a few weeks ago, I believe. What like when they were talking about Fallout, whatever you want from Fallout, there's going to be something. It would be so fucking good to put them on like a remake of like one and two,
oh yeah,
and actually put effort into it. Because what I will dig out, I think, the people who made Wasteland, I'm drawing a blank on their name. Is it In
in
Exile?
Exile,
In
yeah.
Exile. That Wasteland One re-release was ass for me. Like it made me feel so disappointed because I love two and three. They're incredible games, and it was like, oh, they've gone back and done one, and it's. I get it. You want to keep like the bones of the original and stuff like that, but it's just not enjoyable to play. It's so unbelievably dated. So like, what I would love to see from them is just give them the ability to go back and spice up the one and two and re-release. I think that'd be really really cool. Um, Obviously you have that. What is it? Fan made mod where it's like playing it in like Doom or Quake or something. Have you seen that?
Mm, yeah, yeah.
That was kind of interesting.
Dude, did you see the NBA 2K mod where they had the photorealistic graphics
No.
for this is some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, dude. Not to go on to a full different tangent, but like it is really wild. Mods don't typically wow me. This was something I looked at, I was like, that is fucking wild. To like totally change the and have it actually playable, but
Mm.
look completely fucking. It is really wild the shit that some of those modders can do, and it's cool that like there's a scene now where people become so good at it that they end up getting real jobs with like the real publishers that they're modding games for, maybe even new publish. Like that's fucking sick.
I mean, it even greenlights projects in this day and age. It's gotten that big. What was it? The Forgotten
Forgotten
City.
City,
It was
yeah,
it
right.
was a Skyrim mod. They were going to be
Hmm.
putting it into the Creation Club and having it pushed and stuff like that very early on and partnering with. And they were like, "Why don't we just make this? Like, this is getting such good feedback. Let's just make it our own game." And obviously, it did really well for what it did. Um, but yeah, it's definitely come a long way because I think back as well to I don't know if you ever saw videos on it, but when people were doing mods for GTA 4 and they were trying to make it look really cool and they were modding in like big addies and stuff like that. And it always never looked right because it was just making things really, really shiny. That was like the way of trying to like they're like, yeah, it looks realistic, and all it is just it looks like someone's got a flashlight on it constantly, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
But we've come so far. Like it is just kind of scary, to be
it
honest. Like it
is.
is becoming very, very, very photorealistic.
But you are right, where it's like you see the seams showing. Like no matter what, you always do. Like you said about the flashlight or like it like you'll see where the bones of that game still are. So even in that NBA 2K mod, it looked amazing. The movement, the jersey kind of flowing as the player moved, like it looked incredible. And then they shoot the ball and it's got the old NBA 2K net where that shit just splashes and does this crazy overly animated horror shit that doesn't make any sense realistically. But yeah, it's cool to see that scene becoming so much more prominent and people getting jobs out of it and all that. You just, you love to see people getting paid for um doing something that they love. It becomes huge and they can parlay that into a career that they also love. Um so Yeah, what the fuck was oh, sequels, the games that deserved a sequel. I guess my final answer, I'll go. If I had to pick one, I think I'd have to go. Oh, if I get, yeah, that's the thing. If you had to pick one,
Oh,
I
I'd
guess I
have one
would.
I'd want to see a sequel to, definitely.
What is it?
Prey 2016. I'd want to see a
Hmm.
continuation of that story. Um, because yeah, it's kind of left up in the air a little bit. It depends on what ending you go for and stuff like that. But I think there could have been a merit of continuing that on, opening it up more to just a space station. Um, so yeah.
I, I think, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. It's either got to be Sleeping Dogs, Alpha Protocol, Jade Empire. I think Jade Empire 2 would have been the best of probably any of those games. I think that no doubt a Sleeping Dogs 2 Square would have fucked that up somehow. I think Alpha Protocol, we were still in the very, very bug. If it was Microsoft money, if it was Microsoft era Obsidian, I would probably take Alpha Protocol 2. Just because I know that thing would be fucking polished and come out the door and you'd be like, oh, I think if they made a fucking Alpha Protocol 2 right now with the money that they can receive and the lack of, pressure, uh, dude, I think they could, if you gave them 5 years, 4 years to make an Alpha Protocol, I bet they could make something that was just so damn good.
Hmm,
So I don't know. Probably I'm gonna go Alpha Protocol 2.
cool.
All right. Captain Corndog says, what is your favorite video game adaptations? So favorite and best are very different descriptors here. Favorite,
Mm.
I mean, I even look at some of those Resident Evil movies, and so adaptation, I guess it kind of depends on what you mean there. Like straight up adapting in a one-to-one sense, then you got to go with like The Last of Us, where that's really one of the only one-to-one adaptations, but even there they take liberty with the story and they have their own different beats that they're hitting and I can't think of many really great one-to-one adaptations. I think The Last of Us would be the best one I've ever seen. Um, I love Fallout though, and I know that has nothing to do with the games other than just like little fucking here's Nuka-Cola and like but it has none of the same plot lines as those games or characters or anything like. I mean, it's got the factions and shit, but like it's not based on Fallout 3 or
Oh
Fallout
yeah,
2 or
it's not following any of them plots, even though it mimics a lot of them. The
hmm
show mimics free quite heavily, with obviously chasing down a family member. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it's the thing of, because I can't think of any like one to one. Because when I'm thinking of
Yeah.
one to one, the what comes to my mind is extensions of a story.
Mm.
Um, I'm gonna have to try and dig real deep to Paragon Lost is what comes to is what there was for Mass Effect 3.
Oh
You
yeah.
had God, what was his name? The big jacked guy that was added to your crew.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I got the fucking DVD somewhere.
Vega or something, I think his name was. He was something along the lines. But when I think of that, what I'm thinking of that is giving that missing piece of story, um, because that explores why he was added to your crew and who he was. Here we go. Was I correct with the name?
Bro, I'm sweating so fucking bad. This is crazy. Um,
What was the name?
yeah. Mass Effect Paragon Lost. I
Oh,
think you
look
had
at
it right.
that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Digging it up from the old memory bank. What was his name?
Uh,
Vega.
let's see. I believe it is Mass Effect Paragon Lost prequel to the best-selling Mass Effect 3 follows the early career of Alliance Marine James Vega. Yep. Oh, it's Freddie Prinze Jr. who voices him.
Mm. So yeah, that's the kind of thing when I'm thinking of, because it's only been recently where things have tried to really one to one mimic it, because you have stuff like that. And I think EA, that was obviously EA with Mass Effect, but they did it with a lot of their stuff. You had They did a prequel with Cassandra. Oh, he's got more. He's got more with the collection. But he did a prequel of Cassandra from Dragon Age and showing like who she was and what she was doing. There we go. He's been ordering stuff.
You telling me
Something
that,
of the Seeker, right?
you telling me that these aren't your favorites?
Oh
The
yes,
Dragon
the
Age.
Dawn of the Seeker. Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Felicia Day one yet.
The
I
live
did want to see
action.
it. It was meant
Yeah.
to be pretty good. But the Dawn of the Seeker, yeah, it's just like it's very similar to the Paragon Lost thing, where it's filling in backstory for a character and stuff like that, and focusing on where they came from and stuff. But yeah,
It's so we're fucking nerds, dude. To be able to say Mass Effect Paragon Lost and then Dawn of the Seeker, and I go and pull out physical copies of it. It's like, yeah, this is definitely what a fucking a sanctuary of nerddom.
yep.
Um, yeah, dude. It's because even like and I showed them last week, but like the animated Resident Evil films,
Mm.
you know, that's I love extended lore shit like that.
They're
It's such a
so
welcome.
they're so good because what like I don't mean to be mean, but the Paragon Lost and Dawn of the Seeker, they're not particularly good.
Right.
They're very very slow and dry. I think Paragon Lost was a little bit better for me personally, but like Dawn of the Seeker, I found myself getting bored through parts of it.
Mm,
But those Resident Evil animated movies are they're outrageous. They're outrageously good. They should not be as good as they are, and it's because as well. I think they're built from like the in-game engine. Like it mimics a lot the art style, especially the newer ones, with like what Resident Evil 6 was looking like. So yeah, it's just and they're just what you'd expect. Just
yeah,
absurd
man.
action, zombies, over the top, stupid boss fights. You know, it's just
S-
enjoyable.
So good. So fucking good. I The other way is kind of where I can actually think of some examples where you're thinking of like Spider-Man 2 or you know, X-Men Origins Wolverine on the 360,
Oh,
Spider-Man
adapting
2 on the
from film
PS2.
to game.
Exactly, yeah. I can think of the Chronicles of Riddick's not, but I mean, yeah, it's an adaptation regardless of one to one or any of that shit. There's a lot of great adaptations where games took property like Indiana Jones and took these cyberpunk, The Witcher. Like there's so many you can go through the Rolodex and then be here all day just naming off games. But on the other end, not quite there yet. Mario, people loved that. Minecraft, one of the best-selling movies of the year, but we could go through hundreds of adaptations from film to game or from book to game, but not quite the other way just yet. We'll get there though, definitely. Uncharted was decent. Supposedly that Gran Turismo movie was decent. Supposedly Until Dawn was decent. So PlayStation is working in that space, but if we're being real, they've only really had The Last of Us. It's like the big dog. Um, and so yeah, it seems like we'll get others. The EA is definitely eyeballing the fuck out of Hollywood. Ubisoft's eyeballing the fuck out of Hollywood. So a lot of these big companies are trying to get into Hollywood. And supposedly Twisted Metal as well, just staying on that PlayStation theme. The season two sitting at like a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, and it's the thing as well of it's just free marketing for them. It's why like I flamed Microsoft for not having something Fallout related. Like they fumbled that big time. There's a reason that Sony made the show. It's incredible, and you stack up a game release alongside of it. Like make sure you squeeze it for everything it's worth. Because when they're done with that show, what are they going to want to do? Have more of it. They can't
Yeah.
get more of the show until what, a year, 2 years, a lot of the time with TV shows, depending on what the turnover is. So they're going to want to explore other avenues. So hopefully they've learned from that with because the season two is coming out at like the end of the year, right? For Fallout,
Yes.
they
Yep.
got to have
December.
something ready. Like surely,
Hopefully.
surely, or if it's not ready from the launch, like very very soon after, because it's wasted. is just wasted. Like there will be people obviously that will go in and buy them games. You saw it with the Borderlands thing. Borderlands didn't have anything, and it still spiked the sales and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Devil May Cry. Capcom reported that DMC5 sold like an additional 2 million copies after the release of the animated Netflix show. So it's like it definitely has that crossover. People watch the film, watch the show, and then want to play the game. No doubt about it. So absolutely, man. Yeah. I guess overall final answer, I guess I'd probably say I think that Fallout show is probably the most fun I've had with any video game related property being adapted. So that'd probably be my pick. You know what? I'll hurt people's hearts. Them Resident Evil live action films. Yeah, baited. They're just fun. As long as you're going in with a very light-hearted and not like trying to look for lore pieces and trying to tie it to the games. Like just accept it for what it is, and you get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's a really dumb series. Bro, I love the old Mortal Kombat movies. You know, that shit's fun. Schlocky fun. Um, well, speaking of schlocky fun, Battlefield 6 was revealed and dude, Limp Bizkit opening the trailer to to Battlefield 6. Like that is I have not much interest in Battlefield if I'm being honest. I'm not the multiplayer first person shooter or just really multiplayer anything kind of guy unless it's couch co-op, but Limp Bizkit in a trailer is such a selling point. As soon as I hear fucking Limp Bizkit in a trailer, I'm like, okay, yeah. These guys, they are cooking up something with confidence over there. You got making Limp Bizkit your trailer music is such a bold move that I just I and I know people are like it's the Vince Zampella returning and you know putting a lot of stock, a lot of faith in that name alone. I'm putting faith in Limp Bizkit as the opening fucking trailer song. That to me is like that's really the selling point of this game. If you have Limp Bizkit opening your trailer, I think you're cooking with gas. Loon, what did you think about this Battlefield 6 reveal?
Yeah, it definitely looks like it looks strong, but it's always the thing of for me, like it's EA for one, so take it with a grain of salt. You know, they a lot of the praise that they're getting, they can easily burn that within the opening weeks, as they have done many, many times before. And they're just very good at crafting trailers as well. I know the gameplay's out and people are enjoying it, but again, they've been known to change gameplay in pre-phase, and then when it comes to the actual product in your hands, they make drastic changes. But this does look strong, um, and hopefully that they can land it because it does need to come back. I know you're not the multiplayer person, but I don't even know how many hours into Battlefield 4. Absurd amounts of hours. We just need more of because the thing is it's accessible modern what do you call it, like uh can't think of the name, like modern combat stuff like that, which
Hmm.
Call of Duty's bounced back and forth with. Like obviously they saw it back with 2019's Modern Warfare and stuff like that, but they're going back into that absurd route with Black Ops and stuff like that. And just hearing that they want to do more serious takes on it is nice. So I'm
Yeah,
keeping an eye on it, but I'm being very cautious because they've burned us so many times. Um, so yeah.
I mean, just, you know, I'm rewatching some of the footage right now and the destructibility just looks so fucking crazy. Did they mention anything about a single player campaign? I didn't see anything about a
Yeah, it's
single
got a
player
single player campaign.
It does have a single
It's
player
gonna
campaign.
have a single player campaign. I don't know what the length is that they've touted, but it's meant to be a more traditional one, to my knowledge, which is music to my ears because the past 2042 didn't have a single player. Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 had single players, but they were more like mission scenarios So the last Battlefield single player would have probably been Hardline, which was a cross-gen 360 Xbox One game. So you're talking a very long time ago. But it's obviously going to have multiplayer and then apparently a battle royale mode.
That's going to be free, correct? The
Yeah,
battle royale is going to be
which is
free.
because they were touting around that 100 million player aim and stuff like that, and it's like
So that's where they're getting
maybe
that.
that's where you're probably thinking that's going to land on. Because if they've been able to squeeze Call of Duty onto mobile and stuff like that, if you can squeeze that onto mobile, then there you go. That's actually an achievable goal, and it's like okay, I can see why you want them numbers to be as high as they are.
Yeah, free to play, they probably will get somewhere close to 100 million over time. Obviously, we're not talking about 100 million day one or week one or month one, but maybe by the end of first couple years, if they continue rolling out content, I think they could get to 100 million
Mm.
with the free to play battle royale part. But listen, dude, this looks exceptional. Like I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, I might buy this. I've only ever played one of the Battlefield games, I believe. Hardline, I think is the one I played. It was like a cop story. It's not, I don't really have any interest in the military war kind of shooter shit, but I'd love to play a single player campaign in this big destructive sandbox and fucking blow up buildings and see shit crumble while I'm listening to Limp Bizkit. If you can guarantee that I can listen to Limp Bizkit for, just have it on a loop while playing the game, then I think you got my $70. I guess I could just listen to Limp Bizkit on my phone
Gonna
and
say Spotify it. There you go.
yeah, right. But that it's I don't know. It does it just being real, like it looks really, really good. And I think it's important to have a Battlefield that's competitive to Call of Duty. Um, because I mean, as of late, dude, Call of Duty has been the best-selling game every single year other than the year Hogwarts and Red Dead released for like the past fucking 15
Yeah,
years
since
almost.
forever.
Um,
Um, they've competed as like a clash of titans a few times, hitting because that was the thing. Call of Duty hit every single year. Battlefield never did that. Battlefield was they'd have you know 2 3 years of a gap between games. I think now is and they're not obviously going to change that to a yearly thing. This will still be the same. This is going to be a game that's many years, and then they'll put out another one. But it needs competition, and what I want is serious competition because Call of Duty's kind of looked around and been like, well, there's no Battlefield that has come out in the past few years that's even challenged us. It's not even like warmed up under our feet. Like we haven't cared. Um, so I want them to just focus on what makes them good. Because what like Call of Duty's kind of lost its identity. It's more Fortnite than it is Call of Duty now with what
right.
it chases. You have like Beavis and Butthead stuff like that. American Dad from Stan from American Dad and stuff like that. Just these things where it's more in a Fortnite realm than it is a Call of Duty realm because that's where the money making is. And I think a lot of people there's definitely a demographic for that, and there's people that are happy with that. You have so many people that are yearning for stuff that's a little bit more grounded and serious, and you can see that with how quickly Ready or Not has sold for what it is. It's a
Yeah.
very niche tactical shooter, shipping what 2 million copies on consoles already. That's insane.
Mm, yeah.
Like for something because it's that's not something that you just pick up and play. That's one bullet and you're down, like kind of thing. Like it's very challenging. So that there's clearly a yearning for something a little bit more serious, but balancing it in with accessibility, which is what Battlefield always managed before, where it was Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, where it's more serious, modern, gritty, that anybody can just pick it up and play it and have fun with.
Yeah. Eh, I'm curious, like, so we're sitting here right now. It releases in October. What do you think that Steam concurrent player count is going to hit when it drops? October, I think 6th, or I'll look up the release date. But let's check just for reference. Like, what does Call of Duty kind of top out at? Now, keep in mind, um, Call of Duty is their free to play shit is separate from their annualized thing, right? Their free to play stuff is Warzone, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's not going to be the case with Black or with Battlefield, where it's all going to be tied together, I think, correct?
I don't know. I don't know what if like that's coming day one, that battle royale thing. I don't know if that's going to be like they launch that later. They've not really
Gotcha.
disclosed, to my knowledge. But what I did want to say, because in years previous, I could be wrong. I don't know if you could even buy Battlefield games on Steam because it was EA. You could only buy them on Origin, I believe.
Hmm.
Whereas they came out and turned around and said it will be available to be purchased on Steam, which is going to infinitely boost whatever the original, like more people on PC will be happily scooping that up on Steam because it's their majority for people is their preferred platform.
Yeah, it says
Um,
Battlefield 6 will be available on Steam and players won't need to use their EA app to
yeah,
launch it. That's
which
crazy.
yeah, which is the big thing because that people don't want to launch Origin to launch this. Like there's a reason. Yeah, PC gamers are very fickle, and rightfully so. You
Hmm.
don't want to have 15 different applications booted up just so you can play something. But I think it's going to do crazy good numbers.
So let me
Um,
give you give you a reference point.
mhm,
Battlefield 5 peaked at 116,000 players 1.8 years ago, which is interesting.
mhm.
So 2 years ago it peaked at over 100,000. So when we're looking at 6, what is your estimate?
I have. Can you look up what Battlefront 2 numbers did recently,
Yeah.
just as a reference?
Star Wars
Yeah.
Battlefront 2. Let's see. It peaked at 35,000.
Oh well.
Mm.
I think that was doing numbers on consoles more so than PC. Then it would seem. Um,
Here, let me give you one more reference point just in case. Marvel Rivals peaked at 644,000
See,
7 months ago,
yeah, I
free to
don't think
play.
it's not going to come within touching distance of that. I think best case scenario for them would be like a 200K. I think that would be a very, very, very strong showing for Steam, especially with it not being having to tie it with like an EA stuff and all that tangling web of BS. Maybe they could push it higher, but I think it's going to do really, really good numbers.
Yeah.
I'm still like split on whether or not it's going to be coming out though. It still feels like early. We've seen hardly anything on it and stuff like that. It's and if it does come out, like credit to them, and if it doesn't come out broken, even more credit to them. Like they seem to have just had their head to the floor and just been working tirelessly because they were doing stuff with 2042 still, but they really slowed down because they had a vision for it and it kind of backfired. They had like Portal is what it was called, where it was going to basically pull in Battlefield from World War II and have it like mixing over with stuff, and that didn't really do anything. So
So just for some clarification, Battlefield 6, the Battle Royale will not launch on day one. There's no specific release date for the Battle Royale mode. So
it'll be a
everything that we're
full
predicting,
price.
right, we're predicting a full price game, what it will peak at with the concurrent player count on Steam for a $70 product. So, yeah, your prediction of 200,000, I'm probably right there in line with that. Maybe can push to 3, but I'm thinking 150, 200,000, something like that.
Does it have a locked in date?
October 10th.
Do we know Call of Duties?
Not yet, I don't think.
But they've been hitting Novembers as of late, right?
Yes. So, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 release date. I don't know if there's even like a rumor or anything like that. Uh, it reportedly leaked for November 14th,
Mm,
2025.
that's probably what I would have guessed. First or
Yeah.
second week of November. Well, with that being having a head start, I'd probably push that up to about 240. I think 240 is achievable. With the caveat is that the game works. If the game doesn't work, if that comes out and it's just servers don't work, like people just that's it. That buzz dies so quick.
A part of me wants to say like 400,000. Like a part of me is like, I think this thing could be massive, but I'll keep it realistic. Yeah, I'm kind of right there in line with you, 150 to 300 range. Um, yeah. So any parting words for Battlefield before it's set to release? Any final thoughts? Anything you want to get off your chest before we head on to talking about old PlayStation and their following of Xbox's plans?
No, just hopefully it launches good and that they can begin competing again because there is a Battlefield hole in my heart and I would like it to be filled.
Absolutely. Well, PlayStation is drilling a hole into the hearts of many, many console fans across the world as they are hiring for they're hiring for a role to have someone kind of assist in developing or assist in production of getting their games to more platforms, to Steam, to Nintendo, to Xbox, etc. Um and this kind of caused a big stir online. People being like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And I mean, you're always going to see this. You saw it with Xbox and when they went multi-platform and listen, I do kind of get it because it does kill the console, but at the same time, I I get it from a couple different standpoints. Like I do understand the shareholders looking at Forza Horizon 5 and being like, "Yo, you're telling me y'all can go put Infamous Second Son onto a few other consoles and have it be the number one best-selling game on their consoles? Like, I understand how that would look appealing to shareholders. And then I also understand Sony's perspective, where they're like, dude, 40% of our total revenue for the year is the PlayStation console. We don't want to lose that. Um, and I also understand from the fans' perspective, where, yeah, you do this and you know what's going to happen. Like there's evidence right in front of you. Um, so it's fascinating fucking times, and I also understand the perspective of PlayStation being like, well, these motherfuckers are making a PC for their next console. What do you want us to do? Like they're going to be able to play our games no matter what. Um, Fascinating. Very, very fascinating. We're in weird, weird times, and I don't really know what to make of it. I have so many conflicting thoughts that hit my brain simultaneously.
Yeah, there's so many different avenues. Well, people also like I get the worry of for Sony is the console side of things. Like that's their big thing, keeping that number as high as possible. I'm gonna be 100%. It's not gonna damage that. You're not gonna have people from PlayStation then jumping to Xbox. That's
I
just
will.
uh, okay.
I swear to
I
God.
I don't see many people doing that though. It's the thing of what they're noticing is that people are just genuinely entrenched. There's minorities of people who own multiple things and will bounce and are much more flexible, but the casual consumer they don't pay attention to other platforms. Whatever they've purchased, that's it. You're just essentially a fan for life because you think back to like phones, for instance. There's some people who swear by they will only buy Apple to the day they die. Doesn't matter what they do. They've Apple have done some stupid decision making in the past where it's like it is not for the consumer whatsoever. It's not pro consumer. It's all for them, and that is that. What's up?
Oh, no, where is it? So yeah, just speaking to Apple, the fuckers, they changed their charger layout, and I bought this wireless microphone, and on all the photos, it's like it goes right into your phone.
Yep.
Nope, it goes into the iPhone 16
Yep.
charger, not the fucking 14. So it's like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I'm kind of one of those people where I probably always will stick with an Apple. But I don't
Which is
really give a fuck
fun.
about that. Yeah.
Which is fun, and there's a lot of people that have that kind of mentality with consoles as well. Like it doesn't
Yep.
matter how bad things get; it's just what they're used to. People don't like change, which is also why people are not. really liking hearing the change of, oh well, games will come over here and stuff like that. But what I did want to say is it does make sense for Sony though, as long as they do it a very particular way. They don't need to be as, because what people are getting really really swept up in is the amount of times I've seen whole slate as a as a thrown away and it's like, okay, okay guys, right, Xbox went so aggressively with it because they have the third place in the console space as it is. Like they don't, they have no market pool hardware wise whatsoever. They just need to make money in games. So of course you're going to put it everywhere. Sony isn't as desperate as them. If Sony's going to be starting to be putting games on it, it's going to be very intelligently done. You're going to be looking around and it's going to mimic what Forza Horizon 5 is. It's where it's okay, so there's a gap in the market for that where people would want it, for one. For two, this game ain't going to sell any more copies on Xbox. It's reached that ceiling. Like it's not going to get a massive bump. It's very very unlikely. It's not something that you can put with like The Witcher where it can get a second win by putting out a TV. Like it is what it is. It's not going to make a Forza Horizon movie, let's be honest. So what Sony is probably going to do is, like you said, with like an Infamous game. There's no risk whatsoever of putting a spin-off Infamous game on there, a Lego Horizons and stuff like that. Potentially Spider-Man, you could
Spider-Man
look
makes
at,
sense.
because you're looking over at your shoulder and you're like, man, that was a lot of money to pay for the license of that Spider-Man IP. Even if it is an install base of what 30-ish million, however many, that can easily, that's such an appealable brand that can easily sell 2, 3, 4, 5 million. Like it can reach them numbers in that kind of space. That, but hearing people turn around and go, "Oh well, oh, what's the Naughty Dog Intergalactic and stuff like
Yeah,
that," it's
right.
not going to be stuff like that. You're not going to have a day and date thing because they don't even treat PC that way. This is what people also need to understand for the most part. Like a lot of their stuff is you wait.
But so that's the interesting thing, right? Where they're getting more aggressive with PC. If they ever do get to a point where it's day one on PC, the next Xbox is a PC.
I don't
And
think
so
it
it's
will. I
I
truly believe. I think it's because their brand is the console. I think you'll see shortened times. I think what they're realizing is, oh, maybe a year is a bit too long. It maybe loses a bit of buzz, and it's why you see maybe they move it back 10 months, 8 months, 6 months. I don't see it getting any closer than 6 months.
Mm. It's interesting because like if you get down to 6 months, I start looking and I'm like, yo, that next Xbox is becoming more and more appealing. If your window is only 6 months and you're telling me I can go and get this Xbox PC console hybrid thing, have Game Pass, save a fucking ton of money there, and then just play your game 6 months later, like eh, I would be really careful. I would be really fucking careful shortening that window. Um, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. Because I was going to say at the same time, like, do you really want to miss out on Steam's ever growing player base? And it's the risk versus the reward. You make so much more money as a console, from games selling on your console than you do from selling your games because you make so few games. PlayStation's not an Xbox, a Microsoft Gaming. They don't have that many games. And they don't have anything that's even close to on the level of an Elder Scrolls or close to on the level of a Overwatch, fucking Call of Duty, obviously. Probably not even Fallout. Probably not even Diablo. I mean, Spider-Man, but outside of Spider-Man, probably not. So, like, for them to expect that level of success, I I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna get that. You just
Yeah,
don't have enough games.
and it's not only just what do you call it, Xbox. I can see them looking over at Switch too as well. Now that it's got a little bit more meat on its bones,
Of course.
like throw some stuff on there. Throw again like an Infamous on there and stuff like that. It's what people need to remember is that these companies are so poorly run from top to every company. It isn't just like with Xbox struggling and that whole news article of them cutting. Like everybody is just poorly run overall. Like there's so many bad decisions being made, so much money being lost, budgets ballooning and stuff like that. It's no wonder that they're looking over their shoulder and being like, can we just squeeze money out and stuff like that? Um, Especially with because it's the thing as well with the reason they're kind of warming up to this is because Microsoft is, as always, they're pivoting. Microsoft, if there's one thing you can give them credit for, they don't really sit still. They're always trying new stuff, and that's what they're doing. They're going into that PC space. So, like you said, they're looking over their shoulder and like, well, we already put our stuff on PC. There's going to be people that are going to be sitting on Xbox that don't buy that new thing, but they will eventually, most likely, because they're entrenched in that system. Just sell it to them now, you know?
Yeah. I've seen some analysts be like, people are way overreacting to this and being like, it's, it's not going to be the games you're thinking of, like you're kind of saying.
Oh yes, no, I
Um,
don't ever like for when I
The
think
Last
of
of Us
stuff like
and
The Last of Us is probably off,
God of War
maybe
probably off.
Horizon, but even then, like Horizon, I think you could probably argue you'd want that to be pushed even more. But yeah, God of War, like iconic. Their new breed of IP, I think, is more flexible, but they want to probably keep their legacy titles for the most part. The
Hmm.
things that made them who they are, like you said, God of War and stuff like that. Infamous is a little bit different. I don't think Infamous made all that much in the way
No.
of building up like Sony's core DNA and stuff like that. But like an Uncharted, I'd probably struggle to see go over there because it's
Yeah, I
just
doubt it.
stuff that when you think of Sony, they're the things that come to mind like really strong. Whereas like a Days Gone, yeah, you associate it with Sony, but it seems like such a I like Days Gone. This isn't meant to be like a mean thing, but it's a vanilla title. It could exist everywhere. Like that doesn't really have the thing that you expect from a Sony thing with like The Last of Us, where it's like that's cinema, is what that
Yeah.
is. Like so,
It's weird, like because I keep going back to this Xbox PC console hybrid thing for their next rollout.
they need to they need to name it something already. I'm so
I
sick of
swear,
the PC hybrid box plastic magic Pandoras. Yeah, merry-go-round. There you go.
I swear to God, the Series Y we'll call it. Um, it's like we keep having these conversations about porting games to Xbox, and like I, you do kind of look at it where if the next Xbox has Steam and you port your game to Steam, why not also just port it to Xbox?
No,
Like,
exactly.
who the fuck cares at that point? Like, they kind of, and at that point, it is like they kind of they circled around and they did a whole bunch of weird fucking pivots to get there, but like they trapped you. If you're playing chess, that's like I don't know. They made some moves that got you cornered and you're feeling a little funky right now. And
They corporated it as what you'd expect from Microsoft. They knew they looked at this is the thing. Like people flame them for poor decisions and stuff. They have hundreds of people that make these decisions, and when something does go wrong, they just move. They don't sit still. They're looking at it and they're like, well, we truly can't compete hardware wise. So why don't we just like in the traditional sense, we can't make a console that you've known. So we'll try something else. We'll mix in something that's never been done before on this scale. And there's a lot of people that are beginning to turn their heads and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the price point will lock a lot of people out. I don't think you're going to see
yeah.
PlayStation play if people are bitching about the Pro price, and then obviously knew the handheld price. If you think this is going to be cheaper than that fucking handheld, it isn't. It's
But I
going to
think it's
probably be either in that same realm or more expensive.
I think it's the thing that they're offering is just so much more appealing. You know what I mean? Like the Pro is pretty much a base PS5 with like some slight enhancements. It's nothing that is revolutionary at all for $700. So like I get why that thing's not moving any units. The handheld, I don't think there's enough appeal in terms of use case scenarios for the average person to buy it. You know, I think they're already pretty satisfied with their Switch 2, and then whenever they really want to play like core big games, they play them on their TV. Um, and so I don't, but I think the idea of a hybrid, like, and I, once again, a Xbox PC hybrid thingy thing, but I do think that is such an appealing proposition where we've never seen it before. Golly, Jesus Christ, this is the problem with the daily fucking videos, losing my voice. Um, but I would be much more willing to pay 700, 800, maybe even $900 for a thing that can fucking sit in my living room and be the first ever PC that's consolified and simple and like I mean that's so crazy to even think about. Is it possible to make a not annoying version of a PC? Like something that you can plug and play and like your kids are able to pick up and understand and families are going to be able to sit and just enjoy this thing and not like hover over it and like I, that's a crazy fucking potential future that they're building. So I think that people would be a little bit more open to a higher price point, especially if you market that motherfucker correctly. And it's like, play all your
Which is what
games,
they're
all
already
your
doing.
Steam.
They're
Yeah.
they're already doing it with. I know the handheld it's for enthusiasts. It is not going to be targeted for the casual thing, but they're already ramping up the marketing to be hitting on what you would want to hear. It is. They're throwing GOG, Steam, Epic, like they're all there. All the brands play all your games here and stuff like that. So yeah, I think, and it is. It's just the writing on the wall for Sony. It's like, do you buy it now and just try and scoop up? Because you could probably double dip. Because what they could turn around and go is, all right, we'll sell you the game, but we won't allow it to be played anywhere. So that when they buy it on the Xbox now, they have to
Right.
buy it on the console for the price, and then when it goes to that PC thing, you have to buy it again.
Mm.
Because that's what they've been. Yeah, I could see them doing that. It is you're only really seeing for like 100% support is like Square Enix is kind of the only person biting so much on Play Anywhere, which I don't know why. Like, are they throwing them favorable percentage or
Right.
something? Like, why are you of all people greedy Square? Every single time a Square Enix title was announced, it's Play Anywhere without fail. Like, it's crazy.
Right. So Battlefield 6 isn't play anywhere.
Yeah.
So like that's another one that if you bought on Xbox, you wouldn't be able to play on the ROG Ally. Um, yeah, it's fucking fascinating. I I if I was PlayStation, I would really be focusing more on Astrobots. Things that you can get out in 2, 3 years that never leave your platform. Like just adding incentive to make sure you don't leave that ecosystem. Um, and then, the big games with the big budgets, you obviously have to put those on Steam. But the big games with the big budgets, those are the games people buy, not Astrobot. I don't know if people are buying a console for Astrobot. They're buying it for Intergalactic or Ghost or Spider-Man or God of War, so fascinating fucking times.
Mm, absolutely.
Speaking of fascinating, Kojima, he spoke about OD. This was in a write-up from sense.com, and Hideo Kojima describes OD as a title something totally different, something people will either love or hate. So that doesn't seem to be all that different from, something like a Death Stranding.
Everything else he makes.
Yeah, the Raiden kind of switch in MGS2. Yeah, I mean he's always been a divisive character. Yeah, it says he'll read all the tweets, watch the YouTube videos, reviews, but the reception won't matter to him. The real evaluations come after 10.
Yeah, I saw that.
come
I was
after
like, wow, that is a loaded statement.
the real evaluations come after 10 or 20 years from now. This motherfucker, I mean, when he farts, he puts that blanket over his head and gets a fucking strong whiff, man. That did you see the thing where he was talking about how he knows how to kill people?
Oh
Um,
yeah, yep.
where he was like, I take all this training, and he's like, I'm so disappointed with modern games and how they handle guns. They don't know how to really break down and dismantle weapons. He's like, I do. I know so many ways to kill people. It's like, what the fuck are you saying? Who you got to have people who say no to you in life. You absolutely have to have people in your life who say no. It is having your ego completely unchecked for fucking 30 years is not great. But at the end of the day, it leads to wild creative vision that seems completely uncompromised because you do not have editors. And sometimes that can be fucking interesting. So we'll see what OD hits with.
Well, yeah, because what I was gonna say is they tried tightening the reins on him in Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's what kind of spurned that whole. They just butted heads, and it was just that Konami had enough. And it's like, yeah, Konami could have probably made better decisions. I don't think he's a particularly probably easy person to work with in a standardized work culture when they're looking around and being like, yeah, then budgets are really really rising. Are you done yet? No, I'm good. I'm gonna you know put another 10 hours onto this and do this and do that, and then I'm gonna make people really slowly explore this environment. And they're like, come on, man, fuck's sake, throw us a bone. But yeah, yeah, there's something that you can't deny is just his the things when he does put them out, they are just unique.
Yep.
And as long as he can secure funding from somewhere, he doesn't really need to. If we're being 100% honest, care about reviews because he will have the fan base that will follow him wherever he goes. You have the diehard fans, and as long as his lights are on in his studio, it is what it is.
That is the dream, right? Like to make enough money in life doing something that you can then fund the thing that you really love to do.
Mm,
Like I've thought about that so much with this channel where it's like if I can just come across $1 million, put that shit into a mutual fund, draw 4%, make $40,000 a year myself, and just chill and just do this shit fucking daily, 8 hours. Like that would be such a fucking dream. And he's kind of I assume, I don't know, I'm not counting his pockets. I have no idea what kind of money Kojima has, but I bet it's fucking good.
mm,
Creator of Metal Gear, creator of Zone of the Enders, creator of, like he has some big hits and he's made a lot of money. I'm sure striking deals with PlayStation for Fizzant, for Death Stranding, and with Xbox for OD. And so it's kind of like he's getting to live his dream life and be able to create his vision without compromising on it because of the success he has had in other areas, which is just admirable. And I know I make a lot of jokes about Kojima, but I think Kojima is brilliant. I think that anything he puts out for the rest of forever has a green light from me. Like uh, I don't like all of it. I don't like Death Stranding at all, really, but I respect the fuck out of its existence. I'll play a Death Stranding 3, like it's kind of that thing where you've just earned so much credit from me over the years with your storytelling that like, yeah, if you put out another one of these dumbass fucking Death Stranding games that I don't like at all, I'm gonna jump into this shit just because like, let's see what you got, let's see what you're doing. You're always doing something interesting. I just want to see it. OD, I'm sure it's gonna be like a immortality or, a walking sim or something very, very simple. But like I'm gonna fucking buy it. I want to see what it is.
yeah, it's interesting that you say immortality, because he is such a film buff.
Right.
Like, oh my god, like I don't even know why he's still in games, to be honest. Like, he just always is posting, "Oh, I've watched this film, I've watched that film, and I've hit up this director. Well, we're now friends." Like, that's awesome. But I'm surprised he hasn't taken like. I'm assuming that's probably his end goal when he's like, I've done everything creatively in gaming, and I'll go and do films. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't done any like huge director. based
Well,
films.
Death Stranding is in production with A24, I believe now. So he's definitely pivoting in that direction, but I don't know how involved he's going to be. I assume pretty fucking involved.
Yeah, but I feel like he's still gonna probably be like a like how Todd Howard was with it, where they bring you in and just being like, "Is this okay for you?" And he's like, "Yeah, man."
Right.
I don't know. He's probably he'll probably be like, "No, man. No, you hold the baby like this." But yeah, he's a weird guy, but I love him.
Mm.
Because yeah, on the topic of Death Stranding, I've recently finished it. I think it is something that gets better and better and better the longer that you go in.
Oh.
But yeah, it's the thing of like my opinion hasn't changed from them opening things. Like it's a tough game to convince people. It is it's the common thing of when someone turns in like with what Final Fantasy 13 was, where it's like, oh, it's okay, guys, it gets better off the 15-hour mark. Genuinely, it does, but you that's it, man. You that's a wall for like 90% of
Right.
people. Like they're not gonna be like, yeah, I'll throw you $70 so that I can be miserable, to put it bluntly, for like a 5 to 10 hour period, and be like, I don't really like this, and then be
Right.
rewarded. It's yeah, it's going to be very difficult, but can't wait to talk about it at the end of the month because I obviously did finish it. So I think we did our previous one as I was in the process of wrapping it up because I went like
Hmm.
full steam ahead, so I didn't get to talk about it like the ending parts. But it's good. It's very good.
Dude. Yeah, pumped to hear that chat. I mean, if you want to, we got plenty of time. We're actually running pretty short today. We only got one more story before we close out. So if you want to, while you're fresh on DS, if you want to hit your thoughts, fucking sound off, man. I'm interested to hear them.
Is there anything like if you could want something to happen, what would be the thing that would get you back to actually
Okay,
being like, I will, okay, I'll actually see it through to the ending?
probably nothing because I've already spoiled it for myself. Like I know
Oh,
I've listened and like seen because I remember I jumped into DS2.
mm.
So I watched like a recap to be caught up on what took place in Death Stranding 1. But with that said, like I would like to hear your thoughts on kind of the change, what moment, because you said it was definitely a slog, 15 hours, and you talked a little bit about that in the ranking, but like what specifically in, and we'll put spoiler tags
Yeah, I
up
was gonna
here,
say,
but
as
like,
long as we can put spoiler tags, I will happily
mm,
open it up. Because I was hesitant to talk about it because I knew that you hadn't finished it, even though you started two. And even me looking at two, you can tell stuff has continued from one, very,
right.
very obviously.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I didn't want to dive in too deep if you were planning on experiencing it yourself. But if you're totally like not, then I'll happily
No.
talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not going back to either of them. I watched what happened with DS2 as well, which obviously I will not fucking spoil any of that for you. And even I've forgotten that was weeks ago when I I don't remember what, but I
There
do
was
remember the.
whales, more whales. There's always
Yeah, so
whales.
that's the cool thing about Death Stranding 1. The thing that I found the most interesting is like there when he kind of wakes up on the beach, like correct me once again, but it's sort of this loop of sorts, like it's not real or he's
So,
actually
so it is real. Um, how to explain it?
right.
Because that, but what you've jumped to there is like the literal ending of
I
explaining
know,
it.
but
Like, because like, yeah, you are technically the BB in the end. You
yeah,
are the BB. It's why you have the scar on your stomach when it shows you it. You don't have an umbilical cord because that's the thing. Like everything is tied to an umbilical cord. That's what ties you to the land of the dead and everything. Like you have a ha and a ka is what they call it, which is the Egyptian for body and soul. And you as Sam, I don't think you have one, whatever the body is technically, or the soul. It's one of the two things. But yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. Just a weird game because he's the way he unveils his stories, and he did the same thing in, and you can maybe like interject in and be like blunt with it. A brief is a better word. He shows you in like the beginning as you're going through episode one, two, three, and everything. He shows you things in like brief cuts, and then when you get further in the game, he then shows you it from a different perspective and gives you like an extra 15 seconds. So every single story beat that it shows you from the perspective of the BB as you're interacting with Mads. Um, you just get a little bit more each time, and he does that a lot, and it's I don't know if I like that as a storytelling, like overall, where it shows you. It's kind of like because a lot of JRPGs do this with like the when you boot up a game and it shows you spoilers essentially, like bosses and stuff like that. Like it shows you a lot of the game. I'd rather him just be mysterious and lead up to it and then give me it, because I'm gonna jump ahead quite far here. When you get to the end of the game and you're on the beach, you're standing there as Sam as an adult and you're able to explore it, and the credits roll. And I was like, okay, that's the end of the game. Cool. And I'm someone who always sits through credits because I want to see a post-credit scene. 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes go by, and then you're walking around. You're like, okay, this is a bit weird. And then it makes him like sit down, and then it recaps it again. So it's already recapped the story like a bunch of times, but it sits you down and is like, okay, for all the idiots that haven't been paying attention whatsoever, like you've skipped cutscenes and everything, I'm locking you in and you have no choice but to accept it now. And it goes through the entire story on that beach. And it's like a 40-minute fucking segment. And I was like, what the Because I was messaging Panda at the time on the Discord. I was like, what on earth? Like, I was really locked in. I don't know about this anymore. I'm kind of feeling very mixed and conflicted. And he was like, trust the process.
Ah,
Stick with it. And it does. It like the ending does it is satisfying. So
nice.
we get, like I've said with when I was talking about on the thing with the what we've played, get to episode 4 and the game does become a game. You get a nice like combat section in a really cool and unique area, pulling you into World War Two or World War One, I think, first. I think it's World War One first. Massive set pieces, planes blowing up and everything, and then you have like a trench warfare boss fight, which is really, really cool and unique. And then it throws you out, and then goes like, yeah, and then go back to delivering. You're like, okay, that's my reward for sticking by that. But the delivering parts get like it still is the backbone of the game when it throws you out of there and you're expected to then that's your pushing forward process. But you eventually get to the point where it's not a slog because there's zip lines everywhere. Like I think it's so incredibly crucial that he made the multiplayer aspect because people have built stuff for you. So you
Right.
don't need to then, okay, I'm walking from here to here. That's not the case. That in the early game that is because you haven't connected things. But when things are connected, the ball's rolling. That because I was what I do is I try and get estimates for how long a game is to finish because I need that in my head to be like, okay, well, I need to know that that's going to be a 5 hour kind of thing to be able to plan it out. People are talking way higher hours and stuff because when you have all the things set up, it's like I don't know. There was a section up in the mountains where people were like, yeah, it's like a 5 hour chapter. And I did it in like 2 hours because everything's just interconnected and you make it as long as you want, essentially. And if you want to do the side stuff, because I was only doing main path stuff, which I'll give credit to him as well, having markers to show this is what will progress the story
Nice.
with the stars and everything. And this is a main order for Sam. And then in a completely different tab is like, and if you want to level up that vendor or whatever, go deliver a pizza for him and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, cool. No, thank you. Um, not
Right.
interested. Um, but yeah, it ramps up the boss fights. You probably you would have encountered one big BT when in the time that you played. Did you get to the second one where it's like a fucking cat?
Oh man, I don't. think so. I really don't remember. So it's interesting. I played this when it came out in 2019, and it's funny hearing you talk about the online interconnected nature
Hmm.
because I was living in my camper at the time before I bought this place, and all I had was a hotspot device. So oftentimes I didn't even have my PlayStation connected to the internet at all because I really didn't have much access to it. I had limited data. Then if I burned through it. And so like I might have played Death Stranding base version completely offline
You
and
would have
didn't have any
still,
of
you
this.
would have had a. He does put like NPCs in that
Hmm.
are in the game that do, but that's if that's all you're relying on. You're talking like a rope here and a ladder
Yeah.
here. Like with everything, especially with it being such an old game now as well, things being truly established, people know how the game functions. Like you're talking, you get to the lake bit and then you get the boat across. And then once that's all linked up, like roads are already pre-built for you. Like you're not even having to if you were playing the game in 1.0, you would have to be getting the hundreds of and thousands of different materials to build them. Them roads are already pre-built. Like it's so much smoother of an experience because I remember it as well. I played it on PS4 at launch as well, and kind of ran into the same issues. And it was like, man, I don't want to do this. This is really really slow. But yeah, thankfully with the community the way it is, everything's pre-built. Things are so much quicker, and you're just able to blaze through it so much.
I cut you off though. You were talking about the final. You were talking about that second fight, the that morphs into a cat or something. I don't want to. I didn't want to lose your
Yeah,
train of thought
you
there.
had like a big because I don't even know what that first BT is. I don't know if it is like a whale or something. It's just a big blobby amorphous mass. I don't know if it's a whale or what. And then and you're like, okay, that's kind of gimmicky. Sure, whatever. And then you do like there's like a quest line with Mama, and then you come out and you're delivering her to somebody else. This fucking like lynx cat thing is so quick, and it was like Jesus Christ. Like I have somebody because you have to carry her. She's heavy as shit, and you're having to fight this boss fight. And it's like okay, this is kind of challenging. But they vary the boss fights because towards the end of the game you get like a. It's obviously not Shadow of the Colossus. You're not climbing the fucking thing, but it's huge, massive boss fight at the end of the game. As you're beginning to close things out, you actually get two of them. You get like a massive Titan kind of thing, big ass thing with Higgs, and then you have a massive like, as you would expect from him, a whale, big old massive whale, and it was an enjoyable thing to get to the end of these long stretches of walking and delivering and stuff, and then being rewarded with that. Because the further you get, the more things you link up, the more weapons you get. So you have rocket launchers and assault rifles and grenades and like he does reward you and begins. But it's the thing, like I said, with like getting 10 hours in and all you have is a grenade and you're pissing on the floor. Like that's and a bike. And oh my god, like, and that's the thing as well. I'm not surprised it drove you insane because when you're driving the bikes without them being on roads, it's miserable. Like the
Mhm.
rocks, you're getting constantly slammed into things. It's deteriorating the packages and stuff like that. It's definitely just a very particular vision he had, and he executed on it. But yeah, I think with you knowing the ending, I don't think it's worth going back and experiencing it. That's kind of like the big impactful moments are you've gone through the game trying to work out what the fuck is going on, and you get to the end of it, and then obviously the climax being you're ordered to finally terminate your BB, kind of
Mhm.
linking the story back to the beginning. That was what you were originally tasked with, and you said no. Now you get to the
Right.
end, and you say no. You say no, and then you find out the whole Mads story. Unga, I think his name is Clifford Unger. That's it. And being like what that is, and he like speaks to you and stuff like that. And yeah, I think the story itself, when it is all out on the table, is a really good story. It's just kind of pushed into like a 3 hour period at the end of the game where it makes sense. Everything else is just guessing work, which is because what I wanted to say last week No one. I've never seen someone spoil the story. You know, you get like games and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, Joel died
Right.
and stuff like, oh, this died, or he died. You have that kind of thing, and it's. I don't think a lot of people make it to the end, or they don't know what the fucking
Yeah.
story is to spoil it. It's such a like he made it so cryptic to the point where it's for 90% of people that engage in the story, they don't even know what the fuck's going on. Because there are certain things where I'm sitting there like, I don't know where you're going with that, but okay, you know, he's talking about um, Amelie being an EE and extinction event. It's just like, oh, okay, I kind of yeah, sure. So you're saying she is just this entity that is her sole purpose is to end the world? Okay, cool. Why does she have an attachment to Sam? I don't really get it and stuff like that. It's a very weird thing. It is a fun game overall, and I
Yeah.
understand why people are so passionate about it now. Because it did seem like in them opening hours, it's like you guys are probably stretching this a bit. It is a thing where it's like, okay, yeah, I see it. It's just how much can you tolerate
Right.
of what he has to offer. But that's
Yeah.
always been the case, is what I felt though as well. Like Metal Gear Solid Five's opening, that's slow as
Hmm.
shit. I think people forget like that game gets criticized and stuff like that. But his storytelling, he told that game's story. It wasn't Konami. He chose to put you in that hospital section, and it's like an hour in that hospital. And then when you finally get out of
Hmm.
hospital, you go to what is it, Afghanistan, and that's like an hour of slow talking, and like he's just that's just how he just likes talking, man. he just
Yeah.
he just likes dialogue.
I feel him. Yeah, I do too. It's, you know, it is just you see that what he did with editors versus what he's doing without editors. And it is like, depending on your viewpoint of it, it's Metal Gear is 5 gets off the rails quite a bit, but really from Solid 1 to Solid 4, they're mostly contained fairly linear 15. Like it's kind of in and out, pretty breezy experiences. Um, I just hope he has one more of those in his bag before he calls it quits with games. Like I hope Fizzant is something like that, where it's like it's just a cool game, you know? Like we're gonna have divisive narrative beats, we're gonna have interesting stories, we're gonna have really cryptic lore, all of the things you know Kojima for. But it'd be nice just to have some kind of. I think we go back to that point from the very beginning of the show to tie it all the way back around, like the BB fucking killing. We go back to the beginning of the show where we were talking about the open world innovation emphasis and like the idea of things having to be new and different and sometimes overly emphasized opposed to just making something really fucking good. And I'm not saying Death Stranding isn't good, but it's like it's really innovative. I would say it's probably more innovative than it is good. Would you agree with that?
Um, I think I'm probably in the middle because I don't mind things being slow as long as it's like immersive, atmospheric, and stuff like that. And the thing is that he always I will give him credit when things just were because it is just nice to have silence as well. Like I don't know if you feel that way, but like when I was exploring it and stuff like when you're going through the mountains, it is nice to just not have something being you're just alone with your own thoughts and you get to think about stuff that isn't even related to the game. And then when it's weird when you finish thinking or zoning out or whatever, a song will kick in almost perfectly, like perfectly timed, and been like, oh, okay, maybe he's got something here. Maybe he's pacing things genuinely appropriately, or somebody will ring you up to talk to you about something perfectly. I think the only time that wasn't the case, where it was kind of a bit weird, is he didn't take into account when you get to the end of the game, your whole job is to go from east to west, and then they turn around and go, "All right, go from west to east, go all the way back." And I think he didn't take into consideration that when you're going back, things are already built, so you're gonna get back a hell of a lot quicker. So that was the only time where I sat there and felt being like, okay, that kind of pacing is bad because you're driving. Because one of my big complaints was every time a BT spawned, it would lock you in place. Your odoric scanner would come out in a fucking over animated thing, removing control of the player. And then even when that was done, you're obviously still holding accelerate to go on. Nothing's moving because it's making this big announcement thing. That still annoys me. I wish he. I get it. You want to make it a big spectacle. You don't need to do it every single fucking time though. It would be like every
Mhm.
time you launched into like a military shooter, and your guy took your gun out, cocked it, undid the mag, put the mag back in, did it all, and then inspect it for every single time you're about to shoot somebody. Like it's just like, oh, that's
Mhm.
so stupid. But the original point I was getting to is you make your way back so much quicker, so you're being interrupted constantly because he's not expecting you to cover that ground of distance as quickly as you are because everything's already pre-built. So you finish like talking to somebody and he's like, okay, and I got to go back to researching and it's going to take me a while. Don't worry, Sam. And then you drive for like 20 more seconds and he's like, all right, I've been researching for a while now and I've come up with it. And it's just, that's kind of disjointed. That feels like a minor oversight, but that's just a very minor nitpick. Everything
Yeah.
else, I think, yeah, you get to episode four and the game, if it hasn't hooked you by then, it won't hook you. It's as simple as that. If it
Right.
because that is the game puffing its chest and being like, here is the gameplay on offer that people seem to think it lacks and isn't
Right.
isn't there. So if that doesn't hook you, then you're not going to enjoy the rest of the game.
Yeah. It's I mean, listen, dude, I'm really, 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 really interested to see what he does moving forward. So beyond curious with OD, with Fizzin. I think Fizzin will probably be 2030s, mid 2030s, something like that. Well, it depends. I guess OD, depending on the scope of it. I maybe OD because he talked about OD maybe being a cloud game back in the day. So maybe it's something much, much, much smaller in scale. So if that could come out early next year, then maybe Fizzant can come out 2029, 2030. But even then, I kind of doubt it. I'm expecting mid 2030s. So regardless, Kojima is always going to have my respect. I'm always going to be curious to see the next thing on the docket. And I'm glad that, Death Stranding ended up really clicking with you.
Yeah, I want to play that second one pretty quick, and obviously very interested in seeing what them other two things that he's working on because we still don't know what either of them are. They're concepts. But then, in his defense, he showed that Death Stranding 1 trailer,
Yeah.
and no one knew what the fuck that was. You're talking. You show the trailer, and again, it's the thing of jumping ahead. He shows Guillermo del Toro holding the BB. Dude, you don't get to that section until like 20 hours into the game, and like even when you're in that section, you don't really even know what the fuck's going on. So him leading off with that is just like, what the fuck are you doing? But
Yeah.
it was
Well,
a
dude,
hook for many.
for sure. No doubt about it. And what is also a hook for many is that damn Switch 2. It has sold 6 million units in 7 weeks. Still the fastest selling console of all time.
Wahoo
Um,
is what they're thinking in them boardrooms.
yeah. And Mario Kart World has sold 5.6 million copies. Absolutely insane attach rate. Pretty much, I mean, damn near everyone who bought the Switch 2 bought the Mario Kart bundle or bought Mario Kart with it. So with Mario Kart World at the number three best-selling game of June, I mean, it would absolutely be the best-selling game of June if the bundle numbers were included. 5.6 million copies in a little over a month. Um, I think Mario Kart will probably end up being the best-selling game at the end of the year.
Mm.
You know, as more games roll out for the Switch 2, as you got your Donkey Kong, you'll have your Metroid Prime 4, you'll have your Pokemons and your whatever the hell else they have rolling out before the end of the year, exclusive to the Switch 2. getting, I maybe, I don't know what their estimates are, maybe 20 million players by the end of the year pick up a Switch 2. That might be a little bit of an overshoot, but somewhere in that range.
It'll definitely be
Um,
double figures for sure, and
yeah,
deep in them double figures. I don't know if it'll be 20, but it's yeah, it's helping them that obviously it's bundled with it as well. Like everybody, because it people who buy just can you even buy just the console? You surely can, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So even if you just buy the console, you'd have a friend most likely if you're in that ecosystem. 'Cause usually, when you're buying consoles, your friends usually have the same things nowadays. Usually in that kind of bubble, and a friend will be like, "Oh, it's really fun," and that will even convince you to go and pick it up. And it just sells through word of mouth, and Nintendo's very good at that.
Totally. Yeah. It's so I looked around and the PlayStation 4 sold around 4 million units in the first 2 months on the market.
Hmm.
I couldn't find global sales data for the PS2's first 2 months, but between Japan and the US, it was around 3 million overall units sold. And just to kind of look at today's landscape, the series consoles, Xbox sold 3.2 million units in 51 days. Xbox really had a solid start to their generation before, the Activision purchase and the multi-platform initiative and all of that. But 3.2 million in 51 days is fucking really, really solid. And then PS5, 4.5 million in 49 days. And yeah, so I mean it's obviously outpacing all of those, but I mean it is kind of crazy looking right now at the slate, and I guess maybe it's just because it's confusing. Like you have your two games, which are humongous fucking games,
Hmm.
early in the console's life cycle. But then the rest of the year is very confusing right now for them. Like we don't know when Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out, but they have reiterated it is going to come out this year. I don't think we have a release date for the Pokemon game just yet. And I don't even think that's exclusive to the Switch 2, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think either of them are actually. I think Metroid Prime 4 is also going to be on the Switch 1, which is crazy. Um, but once again, kind of like Spider-Man Miles Morales or Horizon or God of War Ragnarok, it's like you're just going to play it on the better system and get the better frame rate and all of that if you're into those games. But yeah, two really huge exclusive titles to start their year off. And obviously they have the FromSoft Duskblood exclusive Switch 2 title for next year. And they got stuff in the works. I'm sure Mario Kart or a new 3D Mario game soon, a new mainline Zelda game soon. And so people are buying it with the assumption that those games are going to roll in. But I'm just curious how the rest of their year pans out for their exclusive Switch 2 titles.
Yeah, I don't think they're in any rush. The thing is that they can, if any platform can kind of starve their players a little bit, it is Nintendo. Like they've got them two out. In all honesty, they probably wouldn't even need to put anything else out for the rest of the year, and their sales wouldn't slow. I don't think because they'll just be bought regardless. Um, Obviously, try and aim for a holiday title. That's always a
Of
good thing.
course.
Don't just rest on that. I think they will get one of them out for sure. I don't know what you would probably want. If it was me at Nintendo, you'd probably want Pokemon on that holiday. I don't think Metroid will sell more than Pokemon on a holiday. So, like you want to try and maximize that whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
Um,
They'll both be out this holiday season, Metroid and
do they
Pokemon.
ever delay? That's what I was gonna say. You never really hear of
Not
like
often.
Nintendo delays. So yeah, they'll probably get them both out. It's their third party stuff that kind of still worries me. There's always been something that they struggle with. I've seen so many people complain about so many people opting for game key card things
Hmm.
with the third parties, which is what I was voicing my concerns with when they announced it. I kind of the writing's on the wall, man. If third party sellers can cut costs at anything that they can, saving any amount of money, they will always will do that. So offering that instead of it would have been probably better if Nintendo was like, we have because they have their seal of quality and stuff like that. They've always tried and pushed when you buy something on areas, it is functional. It's as good as it can get. Seems a little bit laxed with that. You'd think being referred to as the Switch One being a very physical based system. People weren't talking about digital sales really on Switch because the majority of it is physical. So them kind of flirting with that, I get that that's moving more in the realm of modern day and how things just are going, digital sales and stuff like that. But it seems to be burning a lot of people. It's not stopping them from buying the consoles, which I didn't think it would. But there's a lot of frustration of being like, come on, man, these third party things and everything, every box I'm looking at is a game key card, game key card.
Mm,
Like it sucks for them.
totally. Yeah. So it seems like all of their first party stuff will be complete on the cart. But those third parties, I mean, it's few and far between. And then you do see that Rune Factory game where it's complete on the cart
Mm-hmm.
and it becomes one of the best-selling games of June because that physical fan base for the Switch is ravenous. They'll go out there and support that stuff when it's there. Cyberpunk climbed from 400 in the previous month to in the top 20 the following month after releasing on the Switch 2 complete on the cart. It shows that people go out there and they support that shit on Nintendo platforms. So it's wise to, if you're a third party publisher, it's wise to cough up that extra dough and make it happen. Um, but at the same time, I listen, people buy Nintendo for one reason and one reason only. That first party support is through the fucking roof. It's you're gonna get so much good shit so consistently that it's like yeah, I understand people bending the knee a little bit for that and being like, yeah, it sucks. I'll just go buy that shit on PS5. And if you're in that position, to have two consoles and be like, I'll go buy that shit on PS5 where it's the full data on the disc, and then I'll just buy all the first party stuff on the Switch where it'll be the full data on the card. And I get that
But that is obviously Nintendo would want that money. That's going to Sony instead. Like
totally.
they need to understand that is that because you don't really see this correlation being drawn, but particularly often. But that's kind of how Xbox went when they started lifting their foot off of physical support and being like, yeah, do what you want with it. Well, what do people do when they had multiple consoles? Well, they're not going to buy that third party stuff on yours if it's not complete. They'll go to PlayStation where they get the full data on the disc. You therefore lose that sale that could have been into your ecosystem. So I don't know. They need to be careful with that. And I voiced that concern before, and I still have that concern. I think they should probably look a little bit and maybe apply a bit of pressure to them third parties to be like, okay, if we look at this in a year, 2 years time, and these are really, really struggling to sell in comparison to other platforms, then they do probably need to make a change.
I do think you make a good point with the seal equality thing. I think that could be interesting, where like you see that on every box as like an immediate identifiable factor if the game is complete on the cart.
Mm-hmm.
Where if it is, if there is online requirements to download shit, you don't get the seal equality. But if it's not, you get the seal equality. And like that could be a strong selling point, just something that simple. Um, that's interesting, Loon. I like that idea quite a bit. I Huh. That could be cool. That could be really fucking cool.
Because it's also fucking. I'll tip my hat to them. It's a good looking design to slap on your box as well. It's not something that's kind of takes away from the art. Like it's a good looking symbol that they've put on their own products and stuff like that. So yeah, it could be a way of doing that. Because there's again the thing you don't want as a consumer is confusion.
No.
When you're talking about buying a physical, is it all complete? How much data is on it? What version is this? Am I buying the Nintendo Switch one or the Nintendo like? Just eliminate all of that and just create a streamlined process, and then you'll see because like when that thing doesn't say game keycard, people just happily buy it with their own factory game. Because I know it's an established series, but that shocked me how much that sold in comparison to some of them other names that you'd think would probably also want to shift tons and tons of sales.
Damn, Luke, that is a really fucking great idea. That could be a such a great marketing beat for these companies who actually do take the extra effort to be like, and by the way, our game is it has the
It's
Nintendo
got the
seal of
thumbs up, yeah,
quality.
the
Like,
thumbs up of Nintendo. They
I
officially
mean,
have rated it and supported it.
dude, that's interesting. And have that nice gold sticker on that red box, like red and gold go great together. Like, I don't know, dude. They Nintendo, that's fucking brilliant.
Hmm.
Well, dude, oh yeah, also Nintendo's raising prices for the Switch 1. So they're the best-selling console launch of all time is met with the last console getting a price hike. Um,
Understandable.
they said, yeah, they said Switch 2 is gonna stay the same, but may have to be adjusted at a later date depending on market conditions. And you're gonna hear the market conditions term all the time because yeah, that's the buzzword these days. Market conditions. The Outer Worlds 2 is being it's we're raising the price to $80 because of market conditions. The Outer Worlds 2 is dropping to $70 because of market conditions. It's like, okay, well fucking pick your market condition. Um, so yeah, there's that. Nintendo doing some Nintendo shit.
Yep.
All right. Well, how about we get to the results for the draft of August 2025, where Loon and I competed to the death. And Loon,
I
I,
want to
I
talk about it,
apologize.
man.
I
I
apologize,
didn't
my
know we
friend,
could
but
lose points as well. Like, what the fuck?
Loon drafted some. I don't think I've ever seen a game lose points, Loon.
I didn't even get
Oh
points for
shit!
something else. It wasn't the fact that I lost points. I also didn't even get points for something,
Wait,
even though
hold
it's
on. Let
out.
me. Oh, right. That's the Neverwinter Nights game. Okay, yeah, we can add those points to it real quick. Let's see. Let me. I think I can get in here and add the points to your
Give me
game.
my 1 point that it probably got.
Okay,
I'll show the screen so people can see what I'm talking about.
perfect.
I got
So,
bodied, to put it simply. Boy, oh boy.
Neverwinter Nights scored. I think Neverwinter Nights might have got you negative points.
Yeah, man, let's go. Single digit squad, let's go.
Oh shit. All right. Neverwinter Nights, it got a rating of I got a 76. So to put that in line, okay, it would have got you 6 points. So it would have brought you up
To
to
25.
25. So
Oh boy.
25 to 59. I put the work to you this month, Loon. It's funny when looking at this because I see college football at an 84 and I'm like, damn, man, that seems so fucking high. And I guess we'll go through our teams real quick. Loon drafted Eden Zero, which came in at a 61 critic rated. That's the game that really lost him a lot of points, lost him 9 points there. Donkey Kong was a huge win, came in at a 91, gained Loon 21 points. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers at a 76, gained him 6 points. Unfinished Business, the RoboCop DLC, gained him a point. And then Neverwinter Nights 2 would have gained him 6 points to a total of 25. Um, Damn, 91 on DK Bonanza. That is fucking up there, dude.
Yep.
Let's see. And then my squad, I drafted Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. 83 critic score got me 13 points. Eric's Home, The Stolen Dream got an 80 and got me 10 points. College Football 26 got an 84, got me 14. Ragebound got me 16 points on an 86 critic rating. And then Wheel World was a 76 and got me 6 points. And Wheel World should probably be like a 65, if I'm being completely honest.
Oh, did
That
you play
game
it?
is rough. Yeah, I've played about 8 hours of it. I probably should have lost points
See,
on that one. That's a
that's funny that you say it's rough because that's how I've played Wu Chang, and I
I
like
think
it,
it's rough too.
but it's
Oh,
holy crap, is it rough? And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna bring this up very briefly. So I have an infinite beef with the rating systems. Sevens shouldn't be middle of the table,
right.
man, because that just doesn't. That's in touching distance of an 80, and they are
Mm.
both. If you're saying it's the same thing, but Wu Chang is really rough. It needs work, a lot of work, if I'm being honest, done to it. That shouldn't be within touching distance of an 8 out of 10. Like it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to see Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 only at an 83, where it's like, I don't know, that should be a fucking 9 probably. I don't know how you could make that much better. I know it removed a couple features, so I guess sure, knock it a little bit for that. Eric's Home, The Stolen Dream, 80 is probably a little bit too generous. Um, I don't know, 80's fine, I guess. I haven't played Ragebound yet, but I'd like to pick up a physical copy of that at some point. It's getting great, great ratings. And yeah, RoboCop Rogue City will be arriving today from Best Buy. So pumped to jump into that one as well. And then we got our August draft in the works. Yeah, yeah, August, right? Duh, my bad. I was thinking, what the fuck month are we in?
Yeah, August.
Um, yeah, some big titles, some Mafia, the Metal Gears, a lot of shit dropping in August, and we did that one all through the open critic draft. So we'll be able to check back in with that, man.
Yep.
Well, cool. That's pretty much the fucking show. That's a quick one. Two
Yeah,
hours and 16 minutes.
just over 2 hours, 2 hours and 6 minutes for the video.
Nice, nice. Fuck, dude. I almost feel bad with leaving the people with only a 2 hour podcast. It's not
It
we
will give them
typically
time to catch up with the other stuff you uploaded in the week. There you go. Because you've
yeah,
been
it's a lot
a
of
busy buddy.
yeah, I'm thinking about cutting that back. That's definitely fucking
Oh, you
brutal.
don't want to do two a day?
Honestly, I mean, you know, not to go on a
No,
full tirade here,
no.
but like I could easily do three of these bitches a day. Like if this was my full-time job, I could easily do three of these bitches a day. As long as my voice remains. I'll have to take better care of my voice, take some like fucking droplets
It's
and
crazy,
whatever
isn't it?
supplements.
It's crazy. You don't think that it has that much of an effect, but it really does.
Mm, yeah.
Really does.
Yeah, especially solo shit because I
Yeah.
don't
You don't
it's
have natural
nonstop
pauses and people interrupting you, and then, like, because I'll talk for 30 seconds, that gives your voice a break for 30 seconds, and you can recuperate. It also just keeps your thoughts kind of there as well, instead of going,
dude.
hmm, uh, hmm.
Man, you'll hear in that last video that I did, the Nintendo review direct thing, I fucking was struggling, man. My brain was struggling. And I'm like, God, it's so nice to have someone to bounce off of and have that little pause for a second. There's two things I said in that video where I just like straight up paused for like 15 seconds to collect my thoughts. Like, what the hell am I saying? And I'm editing these videos while I'm driving. Well, not while I'm driving, not while I'm driving, while I'm at red lights. Let's be clear. Or while I'm, parked waiting for a client at work or whatever the case may be. And so
Allegedly.
I'm not allegedly, yeah. But so I'm not editing anything in terms of like I'm not cutting anything out.
Hmm.
It's like you'll hear fucking there was one time I totally forgot about this, but I just fucked something up completely and restarted and I told myself in the moment like okay, I need to make a mental note at that point right there talking about Ghost of Tsushima. I need to edit that out. I completely forgot. And so it's like you fucking go, go, go. It's like, dude, if this was all I had to do, and no disrespect to the YouTubers out there and stuff, I think that they, you know, some of them work hard. A lot of them don't. And it's like it is kind of crazy, listen, not trying to throw shade or anything, but it's just like, boy, oh boy, what a wonderful fucking life that would be. What a cakewalk of an existence that would be to fucking make three videos a day, throw them bitches up there, and like there's your 8 hours of a day,
Mm.
not even fucking 8 hours, not even fucking 8 hours, maybe five. But they also hover over computers. So it's like you can't get shit done. You're dealing with got to remove some RAM to make room for the GPU to make room for the CPU conversion of the flux capacitor. So it's like I think 80% of their day is just trying to make their computer start. I don't know. That's how I
Uh,
see computers.
I love your takes on computers. You need that hybrid. That's what you need. You need everything to be a hybrid.
Bro, what if I can just edit videos on my Xbox? I probably could theoretically.
That's something that I did like eventually when it gets announced. I wonder what stuff is going to be on there. Like, is it solely just going to be storefront, like loaded as programs and apps? Because like you're blurring the lines between a console and then just Windows.
Right.
And you think Windows, well, okay, Paint and stuff like that. Like, there's so many things, and if it's going to have like keyboard and mouse, like native support as you would expect, and be able to choose whether or not you want the controller or whatever. I don't know. You should be able to do some of that stuff. That would be yeah.
Yeah.
That would yeah. It is. It's just this. It's Pandora's box. There's so many ways and avenues they can go with it, and it's going to be interesting to see how ambitious they get with it.
It's so funny to think that there's some world where I'm hooking up a damn keyboard and mouse, editing fucking video from my Xbox PC. I don't know. I think I'll always be a mobile dude. Like, I think I'll always be doing everything from my phone. It's just so easy. Like, it's so comically fucking easy.
Because you're entrenched in it. It's what
True.
you're
That is
used to.
true. Yeah.
It's that thing of like yeah, because it
And you
truly
find it,
is like you don't know what you have. Yeah, you don't know what you're missing until you have it because it's like a thing that I always throw back to is people forget like they turn around and go like the 360 gen was really great and forget like there's a major flaw of the 360 was you couldn't update your games and do other stuff like that was it if it was update if there was a game update that came out that's taking up your entire screen you can't do nothing else that console is ceased functioning until it's done doing that but you didn't think of that you no one ever critiqued that in the moment because it's just you
yeah.
accepted that was what it did because I think PlayStation did it a lot better. It could do that in the background, whereas Xbox couldn't. I remember you had to
Right.
keep it up as like a screen, and it would fill up a bar, and then it would be done. But yeah, you don't. And then you look at obviously what the Series X can do now. You can have it downloading something while playing a game. Like
Right.
it's crazy.
You are right. Yeah, you look back to the 360 and the red ring, and it's like somehow that isn't the lasting legacy of that console, which is fucking crazy that they were able to recover from that.
Just yeah,
Like, how do you recover from that?
no, exactly. Think of that happening now because I actually thought of that the other day. Think of that happening now, like essentially because it was at its peak, it was like 1 in 3 were failing. Like absurd.
Right.
Like you think if you bought a PS5 and 1 in 3 of them just yeah don't work, that would kill the
God.
brand. Like it's crazy. And it was even crazier the stuff that people had to use to fix it. You had to purposely overheat it for some of them. I don't know if you knew that. You had to wrap it in a towel so that it
Oh,
would
yep, yep,
purposely
yep.
so it'd sort it back to the board.
I
That's
do remember seeing
fucking
that.
crazy.
That is so wild, dude. Yeah, I mean, we've come such a long way in terms of, but I do think I'm experiencing stick drift right now with my PlayStation controller for the first time, and I've heard that is like a very common thing for PlayStation controllers. And it's like back in those days, just to once again, not to you are correct, but it is crazy. You think back to those days, you go into the store and buy a $10, $15 controller, and now if I want to go buy a new controller, I'm dropping 70. It's like this is wonderful.
Yep, because my
Like I'm
B
not
button
looking forward
stopped
to that.
working last month. And I
Mm.
was like, oh, here we go. That whole fucking process of, okay, what are you charging? Oh, 60. Price of a game. Lovely. Thanks. God, I love it.
Yeah. And I'm playing Wheel World, and it's like I do not need stick drift while playing Wheel World. That camera is already busted enough, so it's good and bad, like everything in life. The you got to take the good with the bad. But yeah, dude, guess that's the show.
That's
A
brief
shorty.
one. It was our shortest
Absolutely.
one of this year.
Probably our shortest recording of all time. Um, yeah, I mean, we've done hour-long shit before, and we'll still do, we'll still have like segment or what the fuck am I trying to say? Like topics that we do where it's just you and I that is separate from the Ramble Report. It's just trying to figure out where to fucking place them. And like that's the thing is like trying to not overwhelm people with too much content because that's the thing is man, I start posting daily and I start seeing that subscriber number just dip. And you're like, oh shit, oh shit. Because it's going to happen every time. If you start flooding a feed, if you start flooding an inbox, people are going to be like, wait, who the fuck? I don't want to fucking watch this shit. And they just forgot to subscribe before because you're not hitting them with constant updates. But you do kind of need to get those people out of there because like they're already not probably engaging with the content all that much. And then they see it over and over in their feed and they're like, wait, no, fuck this. I'm out. I haven't watched this in forever or whatever. And like I get that. Like I totally do. I'm the same way. If I see that on in my subscription box or whatever, and it's like, who the fuck is this? I haven't watched their content in like 6 months. It's just nature. Like you can't take that shit too personally.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like if the videos aren't doing good. So it's like when they are doing good, it's perfect, right? Because the people, the for every one person leaving, five new people are coming in, and it's like that's you gotta have that's just YouTube. You gotta have those kind of. You're gonna have people leave. You're just hoping to God that more new people come in than the people that leave, um, and so it's like you start seeing that dip at first. You're like, oh fuck, let's hope this picks up. Let's hope this picks up. And so it's trying to find that right balance between like not overwhelming, but putting enough shit in there to find some level of fucking growth. Just, like I said, I'd be fine with getting back to 50 new subscribers a month. That'd be okay. I'd like to get back to 100 a month. That's kind of that sweet spot. Um, but 50 would be fine.
Yep. And hopefully that can begin to claw its way back up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the unfortunate reality is it seems like that's only done with fucking pestering the shit out of that damn algorithm, uploading as frequently as fucking humanly possible. But at the same time, there is a thing of just oversaturation. Like you don't want to be overexposed. But I think everything in fucking
Yeah.
YouTube content creation world is overexposure. It's like forcing
Everything entertainment wise is overexposed at this, but there's so
uh,
much of it across the board. It's not even just YouTube. YouTube's just that easy. There's obviously no you can pay for premium and stuff and have a more streamlined experience, but you're not having to pay for videos, so there's just tons
mm,
of it. But yeah, tons of games releasing, tons of movies releasing, TV shows, music,
totally.
food.
Never ending glut of fucking options everywhere. And I guess that's the reason, the unfortunate reality of why it is kind of the situation of like having to content vomit just to have the slimmest chance to get in front of somebody's eyeballs. And
Because they're all different.
so,
They're obviously news stuff, but they're all different topics. So something would
right,
appeal, like with the Nintendo thing, that could have caught people who are Nintendo related people who can then funnel in.
right. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's at 500 views right now, and I'm like excited to see 500. It's like that's not no, no, man. There was a time period where it was like everything was hitting fucking 7, 8,000 plus. Not 7, 8,000, but 700, 800,000 plus for every fucking thing. It's like how do we recapture that? I think a good idea to recapture that is to not fucking rename the channel while it's doing well. You absolute fucking moron. Still kicking myself over that, but
You live and you
yeah, it's
learn.
enough. Absolutely. Enough fucking rambling about that shit. It'll get figured out, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. That's just kind of life. You try, you try, you try. You fail, you learn, you get kicked down, you get up again. And they're never gonna keep. All right, guys, that's it. that's the Ramble Report. We appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure to yeah, check out the oh fuck, shout out Sadik, shout out Captain Corndog. Y'all are the shit at that shout out tier. As you can see, I'm a very stable-minded human, I promise. But yeah, check out the
Structured.
page.
Yeah.
Very loads of structure. But yeah, check out that Patreon. Check out the YouTube memberships if you want to support the endeavor, to support the Rambleverse, the ever growing, ever conquering Rambleverse. And Loon, um, yeah, we'll be back here next week. Probably about time to re-hit up those Game of the Year predictions at some point soon.
Yeah, I can't remember what. It's always good to look back on them because I can't remember what wild takes either of us had. There's probably games in there that you're looking back and you'll be like, oh god.
Actually, you know what? We'll how about we close off the video with that? It's been a short one. We'll add a little extra spice to the mix here. Um, so your predictions were
If Avowed is in there, I'm gonna kick myself. So,
no, we did this after Avowed
oh,
released, I
okay.
believe. So you had winning game of the year. Tell me, all right, this is actually funny. You predict what you predicted. What do you predict you predicted to win game of the year for 2025?
Can I have like a time frame? When was this?
We recorded this on March 13th, 2025.
When the fuck did Expedition come out?
A little after that.
So I wouldn't have predicted that.
Nope. I'll say this. I'll give you a hint. It is not a. I would never have expected you to predict
Is it
this.
Monster Hunter?
It starts with an M, but it's not Monster Hunter.
Oh god. The fuck have I? Yeah, I'm blanking.
Metroid Prime.
Oh yeah, I put my eggs in that basket, didn't I?
Maybe not a bad bet, though. We
I
don't
bet
know yet,
there's no way
obviously.
that wins Game of the Year. Because I'm looking at like that now. I'm gonna be brutally honest here. I'm surprised. Like it appeals to people, of course. I'm surprised Donkey Kong is getting as high as it is. To me, it does nothing. So when I'm seeing that at what 91 it was,
Yeah.
I Metroid I don't think is gonna be that. I think it's gonna fall a little bit short. I think it'll be in like the high 80s, maybe at best. I don't think it's breaking 90. That was a Hail Mary. That was me being like, yeah, Nintendo, I got your back.
Give me off the dome your other five. What do you think you picked down for your other? Actually, no, I'll just reveal it to you. That way we can save our kind of full. And do you want to try to predict them?
I mean, Monster Hunter probably had to be on there. Were there crossovers of what we could both pick?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'd probably say Monster Hunter, Kingdom Come,
Both on there.
probably Expedition. I may have mentioned.
Expeditions on there. So you got three, you only have two more left.
Damn, the fuck else is on there? Metal
I'll
Gear?
give you
No.
no, but very fucking close.
Death Stranding?
Two, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
And
be able to get that last one. Am I gonna be
split
kicking?
split fiction
Uh,
is the fifth one. So you have Metroid Prime winning it with the five beneath being KCD2, DS2, Split Fiction, Wilds, and Expedition 33. And then I have my predicted winner being Split Fiction, with the five below it being Kingdom Come, Doom, bad pick, Death Stranding 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Expedition 33. So, you know how I'm going to actually roll this out? I'm going to put those in the list and already have them locked in for us. And then the game will be trying to find what removes those from their locked in positions.
okay,
You get what I'm saying?
because that's a top six, right? So
Mm-hmm.
who loses? Who gets ripped out? So, for instance, Doom isn't making that final
Of
thing, so
course.
it's that thing of
Yep.
like replacing something with Doom. Okay,
Yeah. I think that could be interesting.
We doing? You said we're doing that now, right?
No, 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 no,
Oh, I
no.
was
We'll
gonna
do that.
say.
We'll do that. No, no, we got a lot of shit to prepare. We'll do that next week.
Okay.
Um, or not even necessarily next week. It really just whenever we come in here and we have a really short show,
Mhm.
we'll record that on top of it. Um, yeah, this is all behind the scenes shit that we can figure out at a later date. But yeah, just interesting to see how quickly that has changed. Like, I mean, very, very, very fucking quickly that list has changed.
Yeah, and to be fair, like I don't, I know we're like kind of being like, Doom, come on, but it's the thing. Like in the moment, you think, could it be that next step? Like when you're building up to it and the marketing is there. I think that is why, like, I always end up just leaning more on the cynical side. You know, we're all getting excited for Battlefield 6, and it's like I don't, I want to be hurt. I don't want to
Right.
like be excited for another Battlefield game and then buy it day one and then run into server issues and desync and bad performance and light on content. Like the list goes on.
Totally. Yeah. So we shall see how that unfolds next week or sometime, some week, someday, sometime soon. Probably, hopefully. We'll see. Probably, definitely by September. I think that you want to get in there and have a couple month breathing room window for people to pop in and stop by, and because those videos always do really well for us. That other one's already over 1,000. So,
I think we said we were going
well,
to do it every 4 months, right?
yeah,
So it would be sometime this month.
yeah, I was thinking about that though. And like, so I wonder if it does there become a point where it's too much of it, too many game of the year prediction updates, and does that like drown out the one? Because the last year we did it, the video was at like 8.7 thousand views. Fucking huge video for us. And then this year it's at like 1,000. So I'm like, fuck,
We did
maybe we
not
should have just.
predict well enough. Clearly, we're like these people are out of their minds.
And so I was
Um,
like, man, maybe we should have waited until September just and did one. Maybe one at the start of the year, just completely fucking blind, and then one mid, September-ish, something like that. So I don't know. We'll think it
yeah,
over.
probably. Yeah, no, thinking about it because there's. I'll be on. I don't think there were too many titles last month that did much at moving the scale and stuff. Whereas us moving into now August, there's a ton of titles that are going to be. This could be the time where Mafia actually makes an impact on the industry in a huge way. It could be. It could be. It probably isn't, but it could be.
Probably not.
Obviously Metal Gear. Like there's a good amount of titles that are coming out that can add to that list and at least try and spice it up a bit. So
Yeah, and it's like those videos performing well are so beneficial for the channel because it brings in so many new eyeballs.
mm,
And it's been that way so consistently for so many years. Like those videos always fucking do well. Um, Even back to the easygoing gaming days when I did it, they were always like locks for thousands of views. It's fucking crazy. People just really like that shit. And I like it too. I get it. I'm like, I believe me, I'm not complaining. I love doing the game of the year predictions, but it is the thing where it's like how to make sure that we're getting the most bang for our buck, getting the most eyeballs as possible. Because once again, I don't, the money is fucking irrelevant. Like just to be brutally honest, 8,000 views, you ain't getting paid next to dick. Like you're not. I think the most money I've ever made from a video is $70, and that was the PlayStation 5 collection. So I could buy a PlayStation 5 game from that PlayStation 5
so when
collection
you do
video,
your
which is
next update, and here it is, guys, plus this.
plus
That is what
one.
you got. You helped grow
Right.
this.
Which is dope. And that's the thing. Like, if you can get $70 a day, then it's like, okay, you're starting to talk. But, typically you're making $4 fucking a video. There's no money to even, but it's the eyeball factor of bringing those people in where it's like, okay, cool. Let's try to get some new people in the door. So for anybody wondering why we try doing that shit so much, there's the brutally honest truth. It just gets out there to a lot of people. But I might have overstepped over once again. You don't want to oversaturate, so maybe we'll cut back to one next year and see how it does. But yeah, appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's a lot of unnecessary inside baseball. I promise next week I'll come in here and just stick to the fucking script and not
that
ramble
that
for
doesn't exist. But yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought about I don't know if I ever told you this. I had an idea for a channel called No Notes, where the idea of it was like whatever, or maybe a show or whatever, but it's just like don't fucking prepare. Whatever it is, prepare nothing. Like have some kind of, maybe, you have a topic idea, I have a topic idea, but that's it. You just go in, no notes, you have no idea where it's gonna go, and you just shoot the shit. Um, but once again, I have a fucking million different ideas that are never. So hey, any of you out there, start up a fucking channel and call it No Notes if you want. And you have all the right in the world to do so, because I'm probably never going to do anything with the idea No Notes. And there's probably already 100 other channels that exist called No Notes that I never seen. So nothing. What is the Marilyn Manson song? Everything's been said before. Nothing left to say anymore. It's kind of how I feel. It's like there's no original ideas left in the world. So what's the point in trying? Um, all right. Well, have a good day. Viewer Loon, you have a good day. You got any big weekend plans for the coming days?
jumping with joy at finishing up GTA 3.
Oh, so you're gonna finish it.
Oh yeah,
Oh wow.
sadly.
They're not long, so
I hope not. Holy shit.
no.
I don't
Six
know like what
hours.
you remember of the stuff, but there's like, dude, shotguns. I don't know what the fuck they pump them things with. They can destroy. They could probably destroy the sun if you pointed it at it. It was. It's so brutal. Like I was chasing somebody, and it's like tail your subject thing, standard mission, and I'm like, okay, I'll just run him over with a car. Drove in his general direction. He just 180s, one taps me with a shotgun. I was just speechless. Blew up the
Jesus
car in one shot, and I was
Christ.
like, okay, cool.
Oh, brother. Yeah. Um, those but yeah, I think you'll probably wrap that up in under 10 hours, something like that. Maybe a little over 10 hours. I can't really remember. It's been so long since I finished that game. But
I want to be done with it so I can do Vice City and have fun.
Vice City's great. Vice
Hmm.
City's fucking excellent. Are you playing the trilogy, the definitive edition? Ooh, Vice City's kind of rough in that one, but I think they've patched it up a lot
Yeah,
since
they've
I've
made
played it.
this why I've pulled the trigger on it. They kicked them out and they went and did their changes and stuff because they've even made changes to free as well. Um, it's just the core bones, man. Of free is just it's just bad now.
Yeah.
Like it's you'd have to genuinely remake that game to make it good. But you know, I never finished any of them. I think I told you this before. I didn't. I've never finished. First GTA I finished was 5, and then I went back to 4. Like I've played all of them, played through the least, but did a lot of Vice City and San Andreas. I'm just working my way through them chronologically.
S- San Andreas is so good. I
Mm.
can't wait till you get to that one. That's like, I mean, it's still so good to go back to. Of course, it's dated. Any PlayStation 2 game with lock-on fucking shooting is going to be dated, but like, God, man,
I
that
think it
game is
was.
so good.
I think I was pretty close to finishing it. Like, obviously, I'm gonna be very vague here, and you could be very vague with your response. A certain big guy plot point is where I got to. I
Yeah,
think
the
that was
turn.
like within touching distance of finishing the game back in the day. Or is there a lot more?
Yeah, you probably got another. The San Andreas is big, man. You probably got another like 7-ish hours, 6-ish hours, something like that. But yeah, you've made some good progress on it for sure.
I'll be
That game
starting
is
from fresh
huge.
when I go back to it. So, but
Yeah.
that's as far as I got in that. And then Vice City, yeah, the other islands, I think I made it to.
Oh yeah, then you're right. The Vice City's a nothing burger. You can get through Vice City in probably 4 hours if you want to mainline it, 5 hours. It's that game is so, because it was supposed to be like a GTA 3.2
Mm.
type thing. It wasn't supposed to be a full blown game, but then they saw like, damn, we got a whole new world. We can sell this shit for full price and we'll be all right. Um, but yeah, I've been watching. I haven't really played any games. I obviously not much fucking time to do anything. Um, but I have been, before I go to sleep, I've been watching that WWE Unreal documentary. where they go behind the scenes of like last year's build to WrestleMania and like show the writers' rooms and they show all the discussions of how they choose to book who to win and like pre-planning the matches and shit like that. It's been interesting. It's kind of weird to watch it. And like I start realizing how much I actually don't like wrestling, the act of wrestling, like the actual in-ring shit. I don't care about it all. I really wish I did, but as I've gotten older, like I truly do not give a flying fuck about watching wrestling. I could watch that type the documentary. I could watch 100 of those every fucking year. But the actual wrestling, it's like so my buddy, this is gonna sound rude. I love hanging with my buddy. I can't wait to go hang with him on Saturday. But we're gonna watch SummerSlam and I'm like, I would rather watch a black fucking screen. Like I would rather you just turn the TV off and we just stare at the empty screen than watch SummerSlam.
So
I
is it the process of them crafting the stories behind the
That's what
scenes
I
and stuff?
find.
That's what you find interesting. Whereas when they actually have to implement that in real time, it's like
Well, I
I
like
can
the
kind of get because to be because it is rigged, right? Because it's predetermined. So I can understand it would be like loading up into a competitive match of a game and just knowing that you're destined to win. It doesn't matter what you do, you will just win. Now, obviously, as the viewer, you don't know who's going to win, but you know, but there isn't anything left up to chance. Like it's already been predetermined what's going to happen. So that kind of, yeah, I can. It would be kind of like, yeah, I would be probably more interested in knowing how they get to them conclusions themselves behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's so much that. That definitely I assume plays some subconscious factor in it, but I think more so than anything for me, it's the I just find the act of wrestling boring. Like watching the moves and shit. I don't care about the moves. I only care about the story.
Mm.
Like whatever story is being told, that's really the only thing. Like I don't find it fucking like you said, it is fake. So watching people fake punch each other and miss by a mile, it's like that doesn't do a whole lot for me. But you know, every now and then you get a great match and you're just captivated by it. So they can like it can be done. There was one with on SmackDown earlier this year with I think the Street Profits, a few other tag teams where it was just unbelievable. One of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. And you're thoroughly fucking enjoying those, but those happen few and far between. But like booking the match, seeing them go behind the scenes and be like, okay, we're going to play in this spot here and we're going to do all this and that. Like that's the shit that I find the most fascinating. So it's been awesome. But it's also like sometimes I wonder while watching it, I'm like, are they, well, what's the term? Are they like so there was a moment where CM Punk Triple H was pitching to the writing room for CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble. And the writers room all immediately had like this sour face and like a negative reaction and like kind of was dismissive, pushed back against that idea. And I was like, all of y'all at the same time put on this negative face.
So you think that there's maybe even just that is being manipulated as well? Yeah,
They never stop. They're always working.
yeah, I could see that. Because you have to it is just it's an entertainment juggernaut, so you don't want it if you can squeeze every single minute to be as entertaining as possible, because it's like when Storage Wars was exposed for stuff like that, of being like people were under the illusion that it was all real. And it's like you're making a lot of, and even what was it, Pawn Stars with the pawn shop,
Yeah.
and that was all kind of fabricated for the most part. It's like, well, yeah, it's got to be entertaining. You're gonna have some guy coming in and being like, "You could buy this wine cork off my grandparents from this really rich, rare, blend of wine. No, I'm good, bro." And then that's it. Like that's no one's gonna watch.
Yeah, they say that like reality television show producers and shit will manufacture drama in houses and stuff and
Mm,
like, plant little seeds of, you know, text messages that don't exist on people's
yeah,
phones and like all this weird shit that yeah, can cause some drama and like you get it. You have to make a show that gets ratings and like that's how you make money. So you get it. Yeah.
yep, absolutely. So we got to
Well,
start inciting drama and violence into the show.
yeah, right. I I was talking about that I once again apologies. I don't know why I'm just in a fucking ramble sesh today, but uh changing the name back to unnecessary rambling. The ramblings have become much more unnecessary. I was talking about that on one of the videos, one of the 745 videos. And that's another thing that bums me the fuck out. Starting the other channel, those other videos are just dead now. They're gone into the ether. I guess I still have them on my phone, but it's like I'm not going to re-upload them a week later. It's like fuck. That's annoying. But anyways, I was in one of what I don't even remember. It might not have been a video that I did on this channel, but it was a video that I did sometime in the last week, wherever the fuck it currently exists. But I was just talking about like I want to do this and I don't want to do the face and I don't want to do the thumbnail. Like I don't want to do the like overly clickbaity, rage baity horse shit. But at the same time, I'm not going to. Don't get me wrong. I swear to God, I'm not going to. I'm never going to. I'll just quit doing it. Like if it doesn't work doing it this way, then I'll just quit doing it. But at the same time, there is like some element of like, how do you walk that line between just a little bit of that without going, without dipping your whole entire fucking leg into the water and getting that shit bit off by the
Well,
clickbait shark.
yeah, because it links perfectly to what you're talking about the WWE thing. They aren't people sour that storylines exist. That they're already predetermined. It's entertaining. So as long as I think that's the main thing, isn't it? As long as it's first and foremost entertaining, and you're speaking passionately and it's truthfully.
Mhm.
In this case, I think that's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah.
Because you can put
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, spicier headlines. I think are fine and stuff like that. If it's mildly provocative and stuff like that, where it makes you question, yeah, outright being like bashing the hornet's nest with a baseball bat, probably don't do that. Like
Yeah.
the doom and gloomer things where they, oh my god, I can't name channels. I just see them get referenced on Twitter when I'm scrolling through things, and it's just like you guys like really zoning on one lane, huh? And like, don't get me wrong, it seems to be working for you, but Jesus, does that not get like grating on your soul? Do you not just wake
Well,
up and
that's
just be like, fucking, this is terrible?
that's the fascinating thing, Loon, where like you'll see in my titles, I am making sure that today's gaming news and unnecessary rambling are I'm going to try to put those in all of those the daily uploads for the news because all it is about having people click on the words in that title and so people end up pigeonholing themselves into having to repeat the same videos because 40,000 people clicked on a video about Nintendo is dead. They're killing every Switch 2 owner their console blows up and they turn into Two-Face and like they do this full fucking rage baity horse shit. But what really why they keep going back to it is because the video got 40,000 views and in the title it has these
Mm.
descriptors, these words. So they keep on using the same words and the same thumbnails and the same, and it just becomes this nonstop glut of redundancy. And like it's the same repetitive shit over and over. And so it's like my brain's going, okay, well, how do I do that? How do I get the same kind of algorithmic success without doing the repetitive horse shit? So it's like, okay, well, can I put unnecessary rambling in today's gaming news in those videos and then like a different main title? Will that work? Probably not, but we're gonna
Yeah, you just
keep
gotta,
fucking trying.
you know, keep changing and pivoting. The Microsoft tactic. Just don't go buying anyone.
Can't I can't even afford you, Luke. It's a heartbreaker. It's a fucking heartbreaker, man. I had a comment. Someone was like, "Would love to see Loon on some of these," and I was like, "Dude, I would too, man. I this shit sucks doing it alone. I even said there, and I once again, I swear to God, I'm not signing you up for this. I would never ever fucking suggest this, but I was like, I think Loom would probably do this shit for free every day or most days. Would love to hop on here and do this shit, but it's like that is, in my personal opinion, such horrible fucking leadership from like not saying I'm the lead whatever, but like that's in
Yes,
my
boss.
pers
Again, yes, boss. Going back to that. Got to get brownie
but
points. I need my holiday days off.
but having 100% ownership of the channel, it's like for the owner of the thing that is not able to grow the thing to sign someone else up to work like a fucking absolute maniac for free until one day, hopefully, maybe, possibly, potentially, a 10.2% chance that we can both make $25,000 a year and scrape by on rice and beans. Like signing someone up to work daily for the not the 100% chance that one day we'll hit, one day we'll be able to make minimum wage doing this, but signing someone up to work daily for the 0.5% chance that one day we'll be able to make minimum wage doing this. I mean, I think, right, I'm just for one person to make minimum wage doing this, it's what, maybe a 2% chance? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
fucking
at this point, yeah,
crazy.
exactly. It's also as well, like, I would obviously do it. I've said it many times. There are obviously factors that you have no control over, that I have no
Of
control over. Like,
course.
the fact, even just something as simple as a time zone difference, man. Like, what time is
Yeah.
it where you are?
It is
Midday?
2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 p.m.
It's encroaching on 8 o'clock here. Like,
Right.
we have very limited windows to hit. And that's why we kind of lock in on a Friday a lot of the time.
Hmm.
Because then you know that you can at least carve that Friday. Having to do that daily, I don't think that that's probably even achievable right now for
Right.
either of us. That's not just like me being like, ah, cop out excuse, bitch.
No,
So
dude.
it's just the way things are. Like it's very difficult to line stuff up
Right.
when there's like
And
an eight
it's
hour difference, 6 hour difference.
and like I was saying, like I put those videos together literally, not literally while I'm driving, but literally while in the not in motion, but in the car. Like it's, I come in and I try to get those recorded around like, lunchtime, a lunch break sort of window, and carve out that little hour to record, and then immediately go into fucking grabbing a couple quick trailers, throw those bitches in there. I'm going to be, once again, since I'm going to be completely honest, if you go and look where those trailers are placed in in those fucking videos, I have no idea. Like I try to scrub through it and be like, okay, I think I just heard the word Saber Interactive. Here's the trailer for Space Marine 2. Skip ahead 5 minutes. What am I talking about? Here's a trailer for that. Skip and just edit these bitches. Like I try to get that editing done in, I mean, 30 minutes to an hour. I want all of that shit as quickly go, go, go. Um, and so, you know, whenever,
Which wouldn't be achievable if we were both doing it
right,
as well
because it's
because we
it's two
bound
people talking.
yeah, because to put that to bed, we finished this video 30 minutes ago
Right.
technically, and we're still going. So but that's just how
Yeah.
it is. It's yeah. If you were to try and do that daily stuff, then what is it? I think you're averaging like between 15 and like 30 minutes for a lot of that. Most of
Hmm.
them things, they would just turn into hour, and that's just. It's not even just about us. It's about the viewer. What the viewer's gonna people tuning in like an hour
Every
every
day for
single
two
fucking
hours. Yeah.
day. Like that's crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And neither of us have that time daily. You know what I mean? Like neither of us have, like, you have shit you have to do and I have shit I have to do, and it's just in like the times that you have shit that you have to do might not be the times I have shit that I it's like and listen, the dude wasn't saying like in some, he was being, he's like, yeah, fucking
oh
love
yeah,
Loon,
yeah.
Loon's the shit. It's like, dude, I love Loon, Loon's the shit. I would, if I had the money to, if and this is something I've
Man,
told
I
you a
hate that
million
guy.
times.
Screw him. Screw that loon guy.
This is something I've told you a million times. It's like if there was ever a situation where I came into any real money where I was like in that crazy scenario that I was talking about, where, someday down the line, uh, I have enough passive income to sustain myself, and not have to worry about money on this end. Well, it's like, well, fuck, the money that comes in from this, let's throw that shit Loon's way, and let's get Loon up to a, once again, it sucks that this is the bar we're setting of like, let's try to hit minimum wage. Let's try to work daily for fucking ridiculous hours and hit minimum wage. But it's like, unfortunately, that's the that's the world we're dealing
Yep.
with the how competitive it is in the YouTube gaming space. So I don't know. You know,
It's okay because but in 5 years' time, you'd have made enough videos with me. You can make an AI version of me. That's where we're headed. And you won't have to pay me. You're gonna
shit,
have the
dude.
same terrible views I have. Robo Loon.
He just turns racist. Just ultra racist Robo Loon like Grok. Did you see that Grok on Twitter just turned into an absolute racist? It's like fucking wonderful, guys. We're going to hell in a handbasket.
It's even funnier to like think about that. Like I don't know the infrastructure of the things, but I just like as a parody, just somebody going in one day and just being like, yeah, we'll just turn the racist filter off for 20 minutes and see like how much damage you can turn it back on. And be like, oh wow, we've caused the war. Well, there you know, there you go.
Golly, dude. And I mean, he was saying some just wild shit. Like it was straight up Nazism, right? Like he went full blown into Nazi territory, didn't he?
Yeah,
Or didn't
The
he?
Elmo account also got. Did you see that?
Fucking A, dude.
Like I'm not obviously laughing at the subject. It's just the fact that yeah, there's just in his pursuit for freedom of speech, stuff like this is gonna happen. And boy, oh boy, there's probably a reason why certain things do have to get regulated. But that is as far as I'll be touching that subject in this
Yeah, it's tough,
dystopian
man.
world that we live in now.
Because, like, I believe in freedom of speech to my fucking core. Like, it's something I believe more than almost any of the other horse shit that they tout. But it's like, where does that come into effect with AI? Like, I don't think AI should be allowed to just speak freely. Why do they have freedom of
No,
anything?
exactly.
Like,
It's meant to be a program at the end. It shouldn't be able to spout opinions. The whole
right,
process of it being conceptualized was it was meant to just give fact. But the thing is with that is that you've fed it. You didn't feed it just facts. You fed it
fact,
everything. You
right.
fed it the entire internet and therefore contradictions. Because you see it when people ask for
Mm,
like, oh, make this, make that, and then it's not truthful. Or when because the amount of times I see because you can ask Grok right questions or some shit,
mm-hmm.
and the amount of people
Yep.
who ask it something like even just as simple as like somebody shows a movie clip, what film is this? And then
It's so wrong.
it will just give the complete wrong thing, and it's just like yeah, this is Schindler's List. What Bad Boys too? What do you mean? Where do you get? Where's the line? Where's the comparison? And it's just like holy shit, man. Because there was somebody who tried to use it as I don't know if you saw it as well. Just one last thing, they tried to use ChatGPT as a lawyer to like it was asking him, and it would be like construct my defense for me, and it was just citing the most BS stuff. And the judge was like, "What are you
Bro.
even? I don't get it. What?" And he's like, "No, we're throwing. No, we are going to not side with you whatsoever. Like you're in the wrong. The hell are you doing?"
Oh my God, man.
Because it wasn't even
Yeah.
constructing like as you would expect, like an argument that can be argued. It was just a lot of it was bullshit. A lot of it was just yeah wrong. It's just like yeah, probably don't rely on that for your freedom and safety.
It's so fucking scary. It's such a dystopic time period with the rise of AI. And like, yeah, we can hop off of it, but I do think about where it's inevitable though as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
We've opened
it
that. We've
does,
opened Pandora's box, as they say. Can't close it.
you know,
It's open now.
it does worry me sometimes when I hear how dismissive people are towards AI, where they're like, oh, well, you ain't got to worry. It's like, I think you got to worry about AI no matter what sector of whatever you're in. Like, whatever industry, I think you need to be concerned at least to some degree about AI, regardless. Nursing, fucking doctor, lawyer, like whatever. I'm not saying immediately, but long term, I think it's something everybody should be aware of that's just ever encroaching closer and closer to becoming this mildly sentient, mildly fucking all encompassing creature that can do anything. Like, because all it's doing is stealing our fucking stored data, our information, things that humans have created for,
Yeah,
forever. They are stealing that and it's creating what they are. And so like, I don't
yeah,
know.
just mashing things together. The thing is, well, that's even for me, like that's the employment side of things. The more damaging thing is the amount of people that, because when you would look at something like, say, a news article or whatever, you know that that's it can be biased, but there's certain stuff in there that are elements of truth.
Right.
Whereas now you have people that are like arguing over the validity of that video doesn't even exist, or that is, and they're sticking with that is true. Like there was this one that was circulating with like 20 bunnies on a trampoline, and people it's something as simple as that. Like it doesn't seem damaging, but like if you
Wait, that's not real?
that's not real.
I saw that literally.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You
I
see
just like
when you
scrolled
scroll
past it.
through it and scrub through it, they phase through each other like you expect. Like things fuck up with the animation,
Oh God,
and that's what I
man.
mean. Like that's not damaging. That's not going to hurt anybody believing that. But if that can then fool, 50% of people that you show it to, that can be very damaging to something else that you could fool 50% of people into showing.
Did you see the one that's been surfacing after Hulk Hogan died, where his daughter was saying like she doesn't want any of the inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
and she's saying I don't want his money, this, that, or the other,
Yeah.
and that's all fucking AI.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. She might have actually
Uh,
said that, but like, there's a video going around,
oh, a
and it's
video. I saw like
yeah,
a text post of it, which was like, okay, yeah, sure. I haven't seen the video, but that's what I mean. That is the level of dangerousness of when it is
right.
a public figure of any sort, and it's making them say something. That's why it always made me uncomfortable and stuff like that, because it's like, yeah, there's very blurred lines. Like they push for, as an example, they want to try and what they did with Paul Walker and stuff like that, like
Mm,
using computers to do it that way. To me, that even still feels weird. But if there's consent given, that's different.
right.
But when it's a tool given to the mass public and then just the like, because yeah, that's damaging. Just something as simple
Totally.
as like somebody could click onto this video, cut out one of us, and just have it spout out whatever, splice it back in, and there you go.
Yeah.
No one's gonna know the difference. Like the people that tune in and be like, he doesn't speak like that, or that's not his demeanor, that's not usual. But everybody else, they'll be like, wow.
Damn, I just thought of a funny ass joke that I can't say publicly. I'll tell you as soon as we get off here, but definitely not about to say that shit on record. I shouldn't even have brought it up. I should have just saved that. That's the worst thing when listening to a podcast is someone saying, "Yeah, I just thought of something, but I'm not gonna fucking say it." Um, but no, it is wild, man, and especially like when you're dealing because like say Brooke Hogan, I think that's her name,
Mm-hmm.
say she would have like if she signs off on AI, like you can use this to say this, and like there's an individual creator that she gives the consent to make this thing, like I don't really give a fuck about shit like that. Do whatever you're gonna do if the but when you're just making someone say something that they don't have any like they didn't consent to whatsoever, like that is really wild, especially right after her father just died. It's like,
Yeah,
man, that's dark shit. That is a dark fucking road to go down.
it's the thing that, again, sorry to drag it out, but the thing that's a head scratcher is like why not more people are against it. Because I remember something as simple as fan run like Twitter accounts or Instagram accounts that pose as the celebrity.
Ah,
That's
yep.
blurred line things. And I remember Peter Dinklage being interviewed about it. And he was like, I truly don't care if they want to pose as me. And he said the only time he drew the line was when they started posting pictures of him and his family. If
Right.
you want to just post pictures of him, he's like, go ahead, man. Like, make your money however you want to do it. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. As long as there's no like captions of racial statements and stuff. Is if it's just like
Exactly.
Peter Dinklage was out in Hollywood today and stuff like that. Like that doesn't do him any harm. But it's that thing of like, and people were in full support of like, yeah, well that makes sense. Well, making someone say something like, surely we should all be in like the same boat of being like, yeah, that probably shouldn't be done.
Yeah, and it's, I it's kind of fucking crazy that I think Joe Rogan, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't post anything about his family at all. Like I don't think there's any, I could be wrong, but I don't think he's
He doesn't. I
publicly
know for a
posting
certing fact he doesn't shine a light on it. Like it's not. I don't think I've ever seen.
his
I don't know if he
wife,
has kids.
kids.
I don't know if he has a wife. I have
I
no
don't
idea.
either.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he has a wife. I think he has kids as well, but like he doesn't talk about them or post about them at
Hmm.
all, or at least that I'm aware of. And it's like, man, right now he has to be thinking to himself, thank God. Like there's no public data that these motherfuckers can go and siphon and I mean, I'm sure there is. Don't get me wrong. Those motherfuckers will go to the end of the earth to ruin someone's life. But like,
Yeah, you dig
yeah,
you dig deep enough, you'll find something. But yeah, it's choosing to be very careful with what you presented seems to be working for them people very well. Because like I said, I couldn't tell you if he's married, kids. Well, I
exactly.
don't even know how old he is.
Yeah, I've always commended him for that. I think that's kind of the right strategy with the internet is like, you know, uh, that's like the people who just make podcasts like this where they just talk and there's like not a point to the talk. They're just like talking and like talking about their lives and talking about like, just whatever. You wouldn't catch me dead doing that shit ever, 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 ever. That is horrifying to me. Why the fuck would you want to bring the world in on your actual life? Like why in God's name would you want to bring a bunch of strangers into that? That seems fucking crazy to me. It's never going to go well. I don't know if there's ever been a case of that ever going well in the history of ever.
No, it is just playing with fire. But that yeah, it's just layers to it. You have people who do like vlogs of roundabout where they live, at like restaurants or whatever, and it's just like, hmm, you probably don't do that. But it's some people just they're socialites. They really
Right.
just thrive off of that kind of culture and yeah, existing in that manner. So they enjoy it
Totally.
and power to them. Just make
Yeah,
sure you change your locks or get stronger
exactly.
locks.
Yeah, and it's like at the end of the day, they're not hurting anybody but themselves. So it's like I guess you
Hmm.
can't necessarily fault them for, doing whatever they choose to do. But Loon, it's been a good show, man. I
We pushed it to the
appreciate you
free
for
hour mark. We did it.
nice. 3 hours is a good podcast length. I love every time I see, a podcast hit my feed that's one I enjoy listening to, and I see it's 3 hours. I'm like, fuck yeah. Got an hour of exercise I can kill to this. I got some meals I can eat to this. It's just like a good. Are you that type of dude? Do you find a show, find a podcast, whatever when you're eating?
I have changed my. I don't even know how you describe it. My demeanor, I guess, in how I do stuff like that. Because I used to be very. When I was doing like achievement hunting and stuff, I had to have. That's how I discovered like the easygoing gaming channel. Just having that playing on the background when you're doing monotonous shit, and just like listening to someone's cool opinion, the takes, covering news topics and stuff like that. I don't actually watch or listen to things anymore. Like I've kind of gone off of that.
Like at all?
Like the only thing I'll be
Wow.
listening to is like when I go to sleep, having something playing in the background. I use that. I'll tune into like news things maybe here and there, but like yeah, podcasts and stuff I haven't listened to probably since we began, if I'm being honest. I don't know if
Damn.
that's
Wow.
because this has filled that void kind of thing
Mm,
in a way, but yeah. And I've
wow.
also changed heavily the way that I play games as well. Purchase habits and the way I tackle it playing stuff.
Mm,
And I know for a certain there's a part of it that has been influenced by the channel because when we were doing the monthly rankings, I can't come in there with like 12 games and being like, yeah, I didn't finish anything because I've just bounced around
mm,
because that just wouldn't
right.
make for because then I'm going to have to talk about that game the next month, and the next month, the next month because there's things that would take me like 6 months to beat in that frame.
Well, feel free to fucking play it, dabble, and then whenever you finish it, bring it back into the ranking. You ain't
Mm.
gotta change the way you play for that, man.
But it's also helped. That's not like an inherent negative. Like it's
Mhm.
helped me actually pay attention more as well. Instead of being scatterbrained and jumping between things and stuff like that. It's because if I did that, I would never have finished Death Stranding 2 because I would have got to
Right.
that 4 hour mark and have backed out, 4 hour mark backed out and stuff like that. Whereas doing it this way, stuck by it, saw it to its completion.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I
So
probably could benefit from doing a little bit more of that. I don't know. It's to me like I lock in maybe about 15 games a year, something like that, where I'm just like hyper fixated on that individual game and I don't want to do anything but play that. I don't want to listen to anything while I'm playing that. I don't want to have any outside influence at all, just consuming that one thing. Yeah, maybe 10, 15 a year, something like that. But I am very much a podcast at all times guy. Other than, you know, like if I'm oh, I can't if I'm alone, I can't, I got to have something going at all times, you know, TV, podcast, something to distract my brain from my brain. Um, it is
otherwise, you'll
not fun
change the
to,
name again, or you'll
I'll
change the
probably
logo.
change my own fucking name, um, if I think too much. But yeah, no, there are a lot of those, like when probably something like Mafia. That's lock-in time. There ain't not a fucking thing that's going to be running in the background while playing Mafia, you know? So it's just, yeah, it's selective. But then like something like Wheel World, I don't think I've played a single minute of that game without a podcast running in the background. There's
See,
nothing going on.
that makes a little bit more sense because it's a lot more lighter. I guess I'd end it with the me picking out some titles. Like, what about Kingdom Come? Was that fully engaged inside of it, or was that having something playing
Yeah.
on? And Death Stranding 2, was that
No, no podcast for either of those. Um,
Expedition?
no podcast for Expedition. But to be fair, it's not to also say that I'm not distracted as well, though. Like, it's not just as simple as if I don't have a podcast in, I'm completely undistracted. Like, I'm easily distracted by other shit as well. Like I said, I work from home and I am a contract worker. I don't have hours per se.
Mm-hmm.
I can work kind of whenever I want, but pretty much it's like, hey, if you don't work, you don't get paid. So you better fucking work type thing. And so, like, I get phone calls from, you know, clients who are needing to get bailed out of jail or whatever the case may be. And, I need to check a court date. And like that can happen in the middle of playing a game and I'm checking that and see a fucking text come in. I'm responding to that. And like, so if I'm being just completely honest, I'm probably, once again, brutal honesty here. I'm probably completely zoned in on about 40% of the games I play, something like that. If that, maybe even lower. Um, like something like a Wheel World, I don't give a fuck at all. Like I'm just it's maybe a 5% focus on that
Yeah.
game and 95% of my focus is on other shit. Even just listening to a podcast probably that's consuming more of my mental space than Wheel World. No offense to Wheel World. I like the game, but
As long as at the end of the day, when them credits roll, whatever, when you're done with it, you had fun.
mhm.
Consume
Yeah.
it the way you want to consume it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a degree where it's not really, unfortunately, there's not a, a want to it. You know what I mean? Like podcasts for sure. Like there is listening to a podcast, that's a choice. But like the work shit, I can't really, I mean, I could avoid it, but I'm never going to avoid the actual shit that makes money for video games. Unless, once again, there are certain occasions, like a Mafia, something like that, I probably will. drop that phone to silent real quick and not look at that for a few hours. Like there are a few of those occasions, but it's very, very few and far between because listen,
I mean,
you
that's
don't
the
work,
case
you
for
don't eat.
everybody, though. You have people who take like vacations off of work for releases so that they can have that zoned in completely. Where that is,
Mhm.
you are technically, for being
Yeah,
honest, sacrificing stuff because that means a lot. It's natural.
absolutely. Yeah, dude, I haven't taken a vacation since 2017, I think. Like an actual vacation. I've taken like weekend vacations, but not like a full-blown week-long vacation since I think 2017. So close to a decade. But I don't know. I don't really care about that shit all that much, like vacationing and uh, to me that's pretty fucking stressful too.
Mm,
Like,
it can be.
you know, yeah, depending on who you're with. Like if you're with somebody and she has like a chilled out demeanor and doesn't want to go and do a whole bunch of shit, but like the people with the itinerary, the people that want to go and see everything, do everything, taste every food, go to every shop, like miss me with that shit, man. Like let's fucking just stay cooped up in this damn the hotel room and let's go chill on a beach or and go drink or whatever. But like I don't really want to. I'm not a fucking. If we're being just completely honest, I'm just not the world's most happy-go-lucky human. I'm a pretty dour individual. If I'm being real, it's not a joy to be around. So, uh, yeah, definitely not the person to vacation with.
No swimming pools for you then.
I can barely fucking swim.
Oh yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah. That
yeah,
makes sense.
I fucking almost drowned whenever I was in, what was that, sixth grade? I think it was sixth grade. Almost drowning. Ever since then, I've been fucking like I can stay alive is what I can't swim well, but I can stay alive. That's kind of the
Hey man,
barometer.
that's all we need in this day and age. Just staying alive.
Staying alive, staying alive. All right. Well, that's a lot of fucking rambling for your ramble report here today, reporting on my lack of swimming capabilities. Um, lack of a lot of capabilities. I did just a yeah, not doing well. And my stat tree is like very min-maxed. There's a lot of there. You got a couple stats in there that's like yeah, got an 8 or a 9 on that one. But there's a whole lot of zeros following it. There's not a lot of sixes and sevens anywhere in there. But Loon, apologies for taking up so much of your fucking time with the last hour of nonsense.
It's all good. It's a
Yeah,
blast as always.
absolutely. Guys, Loon's channel in the description, Patreon, YouTube memberships in the description. Do as you please. Check out the different tiers. I gotta actually delete some of those tiers. I haven't even changed the name on Patreon. It's still fucking Game and Ramble on Patreon. I'm so fucking behind the eight ball. But yeah, go over there. I'll get that name changed one day eventually, hopefully. See you soon. Take it easy, guys. Goodbye.
See you later.